intro.
I know.
I'll work on one for you. Just tell
And
me the things you like.
we are
Go ahead.
live. And hello, everybody. We have an distinguished guest in Mr. Tommy Jude here tonight. Hello, Tommy.
Hey, hello, golf. How you doing, girl?
I am doing phenomenal. Thank you very
All
much.
right, good, good, good.
Thank you, everybody, for watching and being here and joining the discussion. I wanted to talk a little bit about the suppression of evidence today that you and Andrew D. Myers, the lawyer, took part in, which I found fascinating. And you know me, when it just clicked in me today. So I thought, oh, that would be something to talk to you about because you had that
Yeah,
experience with him.
yeah. He's such an awesome guest.
Yeah,
Because he shows the legal angle, but he also has so much common sense that because I've seen lawyers where the common sense isn't really
yeah. No,
really
yeah,
there.
I know. I understand what you're saying, and it's good to have
Yeah.
lawyers that keep an open mind and knows the law, obviously.
Yes.
There's
Yes.
nothing
Yes.
better.
Actually, we'll get him on your show if you'd like him to come on your
Y-
show. I can probably
Yeah.
help you do that. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, oh, I would like Yoli as well, by the way. So I'm gonna say hello to those I see, and
Yep.
I see Moonflower Lassa, I see Debbie Guzzardo,
Yep.
I see Rove, and I see Debbie. Oh, there's Debbie again. Hi, Debbie, and Kathleen Van Bogart, sorry. And we have Crime Spy, and we have B. Oh, hey, Bonnie Messick. And that's what I see for now. And then as we go, I'll say hello to everybody. So basically, yes, I'm very happy to have Tommy here today to join me, and then we'll talk about that video that you made, or actually Andrew Myers put out. But I'll put out both of them so people can link, and of course, go watch it on yours, which I'm sure they already have. But just in case.
All
Um,
right. Yeah.
and hi, SW Firefly, SW Firefly. Sorry.
I like what he had to say on his video today. He always treats me good, and I like
Yeah,
that.
exactly. So here is, of course, Tommy's channel first for everybody. And
Thank
oh,
you.
did that come out correctly? I think it did in chat. Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I did.
then I'm gonna also put out the link that is under Tommy's channel for the video that we'll go over.
Okay. Oh, the one I sent you is mine now. You know
Yes,
that, right?
yes.
Okay.
Yes, this is the one that takes to yours. I want that out as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And hi, Rach.
Yep. Rach and all my family there, Moonflower, all
Yes,
you beautiful
yes.
people.
And of course, let's also link the video that we will be watching so that, because it's just, we're going to talk about it and people might want to watch it later on. Hi, Deborah
Right.
Thompson. There we go. Hi, El Barico. Bariqua. Bariqua.
Oh,
And sweet and
Burica.
salty. El Bariqua. So we're gonna start off me and Tommy a little bit, going back and forth, uh, and then I'll want to open up the panel later on for everybody who's wanting to join in the discussion and come on, because you all know that's me. I'm the panel girl. I love it.
Right. Yep.
So I would be very honored for anybody to later jump on and voice your opinion and talk about things that we talk about, or bring up new things. It's fine. Hi, Natural Healing.
You're natural and good to see you, girl.
Yeah, all your crime family is here, Tommy.
Yep. Yep.
Thank you, everybody,
Sweet and
for being.
salty.
You're all
Yep.
sweethearts. So I'm gonna start. Oop, let me. Oh, sorry that I didn't share it, did I? So I'm gonna share that one. Let me present to you guys something that I think hopefully, well, maybe some of you have seen, or somebody might have not. There we go. Let me share that. And
Hey, Bonnie.
before I start, is there any echo? Is there anything that sounds
Good.
off? I just want to make sure
So,
that we have good sound.
yeah, sounds really good.
Okay. And if I'm echoing with the video, just please let me know. Okay.
Yep.
On vacation, I heard you were hosting
Speed it up
Tommy
a little.
Jude. How did that go?
Yeah, he did have me on his panel, and guess what? They turned it into a game of Stump Attorney Meyer.
Yeah, I love that. Well, I have a little preview of where I was at the end of this video.
Fool around with me. I'll just say this. I mean, they've got to provide it to Mr. Kohlberger's attorneys, Ian Taylor. I mean, if they want to play cute that, oh, yeah, we have information, we can't give it to you, don't fool around with me. Give it to Ian Taylor in advance of the trial, or it's not going to go in. I mean, in the Murdoch trial, all this stuff was provided by the prosecution to the defense.
Right.
And the prosecution and the defense had a good relationship, and the FBI went in with their cast report and everything else. And so if it's out there, produce it. If you're not producing it, you're full of you-know-what. That's
Right.
all.
Well, then the way they're not producing it,
Yeah.
that's what makes me wonder what they're trying to say. You know what I mean? Like, what is it you think the inquiry won't give it to them?
Well, they
So
always
they don't have it. They don't have it. They can say it.
they always cite these 4 phony only reasons for why everything's secret in all of these motions to seal. It could endanger informants. It could endanger a witness. It's bad for the public safety. Yeah, okay. I think it's
We talked about this yesterday. I think they don't have what they thought they had, right? It's a case of that a little bit, that they thought they had all this evidence, but they don't have that. Does that make sense? Oh, I think you're
Yep.
muted.
I'm muted. Yeah, I was
Oh,
muted.
sorry.
Yeah. I'm trying to connect the chat, and it's not allowing me to connect
Oh.
the chat for some reason. So I'm trying. What was the question, Nalgo?
No, I said you were talking about, the suppressing of evidence and no,
You're right.
the
Yeah.
evidence parts, right? What I'm saying is they don't even have what they thought they had, is my,
No, they don't.
yeah,
Yeah.
my thought on
Yeah.
that one.
Yep. They don't. And
I think
they knew. I knew that. Oh, I think they counted on certain things that didn't come to
fruition
or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah, fruition. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
one of the other reasons they should put a subset for we don't know what we're doing. We made a mistake. We don't have the evidence. So I hate to be that cynical, but at this point, a year and a half after the crime, we're still fighting.
It's just crazy. Do you actually think it's going to go to trial?
Oh, of course. How could you say it wouldn't? I mean, Ian Taylor says he's innocent.
Yeah.
He wants to be exonerated. He feels why wouldn't it go to trial?
No. And there's a lot of people thinking that maybe Bill Thompson will fold
and dismiss the case.
Yeah.
Yeah, pigs will fly.
Yeah. And I agree with that. I don't think that they are not going to have a hearing unless Ann Taylor files for whatever that's called to stop it. So I don't think that that's going to be like a folding of Bill Thompson. I don't think we'll see that at all.
I thought so for a while, but they got too much money into it, I think, I hate to say this, Golf, but I think it's going to end up a cold case. I really do. Because I don't think they're going to go after the real people. I just don't see them doing it.
That is possible after if Brian is not, obviously gets out of this, and I think that's possible that could happen. Though who knows, years down the line, something might happen. You never know.
Yeah, I just don't think they're going to go after them. I
mean, they might not have a choice, though.
I hope they don't.
Yeah. I don't think it's up to law enforcement and the district attorney's office there to make that decision. Well,
I kind of wish FBI would step in after if they, and I hope they do fail, because I don't think Brian is guilty. So if they fail and they don't go after the real people on this. I hope the FBI does step in, and I think there is a in there because he did cross state lines. I'm going to go over this again with Yoli, because she was saying that she didn't think they could step in on this. But I think afterwards they might be able to, and that's the question. One of the questions I want to ask her. You know what I'm saying? It was like after this is all done, he did cross state lines, you know, and to do this crime. So you would think it could go federal. What's your opinion on that?
I don't know about that, but I think because there's been so much money put into this, as far as the state goes, I think on a state level they wouldn't let like just Latah County take that decision that, oh, we're just going to let this go cold, you know? I don't see that happening. And they really want to, you know, a conclusion to this. However, I don't know much. I mean, I looked into it as well and tried to research a little bit about those crossing state lines, but it's because it's not multiple. It's like one murder in one, right? I think that's how Yoli said something about it. It's not like one here, one there, and then 3 weeks later another one. This is like in one swoop, so to speak, which is still horrible. Don't get me wrong. But,
right. But that's what I don't. Why would they come up with a rule like that? I mean, if the person crosses a state line, he crosses a state line. It should be a federal offense. It should be a federal offense.
I am sure if they needed to do that for some reason, they would have found an excuse. They probably can. Because he crossed a lot of state lines. However, what we'll hear a little bit later might explain why they didn't. So we'll see. All right, I'll continue. Let's see what they say.
The PCA now irrelevant, and what's this motion that Ann Taylor filed?
Well, one of the things that Tommy and his viewers really wanted to know was Ann Taylor, Brian Kohlberger's defense attorney, filed a motion couched something like opposition to the state's motion to limit testimony. So we all go looking for the state's motion to limit testimony. It was not filed in the public docket. The title of it was filed in the secret docket that we talked about before, but the actual motion is nowhere to be found. But one of the things that Ann Taylor cited in her opposition was that the state had actually said that, and I quote, the probable cause affidavit is irrelevant at this stage. So a lot of us are trying to figure out what that means. And so they asked me, defendant's response to the state's motion to limit testimony. And in it, she says, in the state's motion, the state contends that the affidavit of probable cause is irrelevant at this stage. So, I mean, the state itself, the state is saying that the affidavit of probable cause is irrelevant. What the heck does that mean? I go back and forth. There's a couple of different interpretations, but it's all speculation because this is a response to a document that the state never filed. You can't find the actual state's motion to limit testimony. I've been watching the ICOR website. It's not on there. It says that it was filed on May 10th of 2024. It wasn't.
They skipped right over.
And
they skipped that over real good, didn't they? And wonder why.
Yeah, they did.
You know. And
you're right.
I looked. I mean, I went through it as well, and I looked and looked and looked, and I could not find it either. So he's absolutely 100% right in this. And I have, and like he's following this, like he printed everything out, which is amazing. And he's following it, and he can go back and see, okay, everything that came out so far as well. And because some of the documents we know disappeared as well. From the ICOR website.
To me, it's just so brazen that what they're doing. And it kind of drives me crazy, really. And it's just like, why are they allowed to do all this crap?
Correct.
You know, and why isn't the judge stepping in and saying, "Hey, you know, get the evidence to the defense." Hand it over. Let's get the ball rolling. You know.
But as they do, there are problems with that, I'm sure, and that's what we're gonna find out. In the future, we don't see those problems just yet because we haven't. Everything is sealed and gagged and so on and so forth. So I'm sure that we'll see. That's why, And something he says here is very interesting to me that he'll point out shortly. So I'll keep going.
Okay. Yep.
I actually, I don't care. I'm an attorney. I called the court clerk's office in the 2nd District Division Court in Moscow, Idaho. I got a voicemail. So I left a message, just simply, I've got this motion. I'd like to know what the other motion is all about. Could I please have a copy of it? And I said, if you can't post it on the ICOR website, could you fax it or email it? And I left my fax or email. And I also emailed the defense office in Ladell County to the attention of Ann Taylor. And I also emailed William Thompson. And when none of them got back to me, I knew it was them.
Exactly. When none of them got back to him, he knew it was them. They're like they're not hiding it. I'm gonna say
awful.
They don't want that out there, and I'm sure Ann knows the reason why, but we don't. He don't want that in the public.
Right. When the judge said to put the gag order on, he didn't mean to put the gag order on the defense.
No, he did not. He did not. No, this is on everything, but the tide is
but not the
turning.
defense.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. All right. Well, let's and I apologize for chat. I only see when I start playing. I'm so sorry. I'm not interactive during playing these things as much because I don't
It's
see
hard.
chat as much. It's hard. Yes. So, all right.
Hi,
we'll go for
Karen. Hi, Karen, girl.
So if the PCA is irrelevant, what even foundation do they have for this whole case? How is Brian still in jail if they have decided that the PCA is going to be relevant now?
Well, that's a question that Tommy's audience had, but it's not really quite that simple. Again, we don't know what the state said in their motion, but we have to back up the bus a little bit, I told his viewers, because it's not really that simple. Well, that's a good question. I mean, they can continue to hold Mr. Koberger because, then they went and indicted him. They went around, there's supposed to be this public hearing. And instead of going forward to the public hearing, right about a year ago now, they went behind everybody's back and they did a indictment to a secret grand jury. So they can still hold him based on the grand jury indictment, but it speaks pretty poorly if it turns out that the stuff that's in the probable cause affidavit is fading away. It just, like I said before, it hasn't stood the test of time, has it?
Right.
So Ann Taylor promised she's going to file multiple motions to suppress evidence. Do we know? Are there any clues about what this is going to be about?
Well, we can only kind of, prognosticate about it or make a little bit of an educated guess. She cited 3 cases in her motion. And so when Tommy's audience asked me that question, I said, well, let's make some educated guesses here. Ann Taylor, in her response to the state's mystery motion, cited 3 cases. And Yoli and I went over the 3 cases today. And the cases all kind of focus on secret informants. Confidential informants and the reliability of confidential informants. And Idaho courts in the past have played fast and furious with secret informants and kind of let them go under the radar. And there's a procedure in the Idaho court. Now, bear in mind, I'm only licensed in New Hampshire and Massachusetts, but I'm able to do research. I'm able to look up cases, and I read the 3 or 4 cases that Ann Taylor cited in her response to the mystery motion. And they focus on probable cause and motions to suppress. So Idaho has a Idaho has a specific procedure that was not followed in the Hosey case. And the case went up all the way to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court told the district court, guys, you got to do this over again. And you got to follow the procedure. So the case actually didn't come out the defense's way in the end. But at least that case is precedent for the fact that an informant needs to undergo scrutiny in a specific type of hearing under the Idaho procedural rules to determine that that secret confidential informant is reliable before that can be used to establish probable cause to get a warrant. So I find that really telling that she is citing these cases now when the prosecution has said, well, the probable cause affidavit, it's irrelevant. Really? So
yeah.
So on that one, he cites that one case, and that's important to remember. And the problem on that one is, I think, so here's my take on it. And this is just from listening to what he said, and I could be completely off on it. And, just don't run with it. This is just my speculation on it, is that they probably surveilled Brian Koberger without letting him know, right? So in that, if you look at suppression of evidence, what that means, I'm going to read it verbatim, what, law books or law institutions say. They say suppression of evidence is a pretrial proceeding to prevent evidence from being shown at trial, which could be lawful or unlawful, right? So they skipped the pretrial hearing, number one. They probably surveilled him without him knowing, which is a Fourth Amendment right. So let's say they wiretapped him.
Well, yeah, unless they got a order from a judge or something.
Exactly.
Like that.
Let's say they wiretapped him.
Mhm.
And that would mean that, yeah, they violated his Fourth Amendment rights
Right.
in that sense.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah. That if they did that without an order from a judge or something like
Mhm.
that, yeah, that's totally against his rights, and
Correct.
the case could be thrown out.
Correct. Because the only
Yeah.
order that we know of and have seen is the PCA, meaning his arrest warrant. And there were no
Right.
other warrants for anything.
Nope.
And I don't know if they put those out publicly. That would be for a lawyer.
That's yeah. I don't know if they do that either. I doubt they would.
Yeah.
I don't. You know. I highly doubt they would. But they would have to give it to the defense.
Hmm.
And if they're not giving it to the defense, that makes me think they probably didn't go through a judge.
Well, and I mean, they would have had to give it over. That here's the judge's ruling that we can go and wiretap this fellow or whatever they did, you know. And
Right. Yeah, they'd have to.
and I suspect that they didn't have that at that moment. So let's
They
say,
might not.
remember, they followed him from, you know, they're not saying they followed him. They tried to get away from that, even though he was stopped 2
You're
times.
right.
So who
Yeah.
knows? Who knows? But that's what
Right.
struck me, like, they might have
I would
actually
hate.
wiretapped him without getting a judge to sign off on it.
Right. But I would hate to see him get off
On
because of a
technicalities.
technicality. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. But,
Um,
you know, the law is the law. And if you don't follow
yep,
it,
it
then
is.
yeah, and that's the
And
problem here all along is
yeah,
this guy might have done it or he might have not. But if this is how they did it, it's shoddy work, right?
you're right.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's go on.
Yep.
Have you ever heard of that? Have you ever in your career? Have you ever ran across a case like this?
No, never. I don't think anybody has. I mean, that's why this case is blown up to the proportions that it has. I mean, a probable cause affidavit establishes a base. It's like cooking. You make a base gravy, but then you add to it, and you add
Right.
the probable
Yep.
cause affidavit establishes a baseline. Okay, now we have probable cause. We can arrest and
Yeah.
hold. But then then they do
Mm.
research and they do investigation and then they build the case. This is
Right.
kind of like it's like building a skyscraper and they laid the foundation. Now they're halfway up to the 100th story and oops, the foundation's no good. So
Right.
it's so
Yeah.
Ann Taylor warned us all in the last couple of hearings that she's going to be doing motions to suppress, and so she, in my view, that's what she's laying the groundwork for now by saying, look, you don't have probable cause. If you have a secret informant, you didn't vet him out properly. And so, remember in the last hearing, they were talking to the judge. The last couple of hearings, they were talking to the judge
Uh-huh.
about having hearings every 2 weeks. Remember that?
Right.
So
Yep.
she's gonna be doing motions to suppress, and I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the location data that the state claims that they had in the PCA is
To suppress. Now, Ann Taylor's going to be doing that?
Yeah, she said in the last couple of hearings, she said, I am going to do motions to
Mhm.
suppress. So what that means is
Suppress what? What are they?
evidence that the state may or may not have. Evidence that the state may or may not have.
So sometimes
That is interesting as well. And so that secret informant, again, we're going back to it, right? And
Yep.
it's sort of always backtracks to a secret. And yes, I can say partially is the FBI being the DNA and all that, right? But I think on top of that, there is somebody else involved in there.
And I hope it isn't what I think it is because it'd be really dirty. But I don't. With Moscow,
Mm.
I don't trust them. I don't trust them, and I hope they don't use somebody that's not here anymore.
And I wonder if, like, okay, basically, let's say they just trusted the FBI, right? Let's just give them the benefit of the doubt that they actually trusted the FBI on this one. And it
Right.
didn't pan out because this is a huge case. And I don't think it panned out the way they wanted it to pan out. They might have not gotten that support from the FBI that they expected to get. So, in giving them that benefit of the doubt, like they just didn't know better,
Well, it could be that the FBI looked at this case even further and said, "We're not even gonna. I mean, there's not enough evidence to get this guy."
Probably. I mean, and the way they
You know
did
what I mean?
it. Yeah, the way
Right.
they did it as well. And what the heck happened to those 40, 50 some agents that were on the ground and or not on the ground, sorry, I take that back, but the 40, 50 agents that were involved in this,
Right.
like they scattered, all of them just scattered.
They don't want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, that's what it seems like,
That's what
right?
it seems like. Yep,
Yeah.
that's what it seems like. They don't want nothing to do with it. Now Fry could have really uh, can I say pissed him off? uh, Pissed him off because Fry gets up there and says, and I mean, he looked right in the camera, and I knew exactly what he was trying to say. And he said, "This is our investigation." And
Mhm.
I mean, to me, that was really a slap in the face to the FBI.
Mhm.
And that's something you don't want to do, is go slapping the FBI's face.
Well, yeah, like if he had said we worked this together with, the FBI and the Idaho State
Yeah,
Police or something, but he said no, this is ours, and maybe, who knows if that was
maybe.
part of it,
Yeah,
or it's
maybe.
just
Or the evidence.
the evidence, the way that they
Yep,
did the whole research of evidence as well, because
yep,
obviously there are known facts out there. They took 3 weeks to actually go to certain places for camera footage. We know that. That's a fact. It's not a
yep.
lie. That's something that's a fact, right?
You're
And
right. Yep.
that is pretty sad, if you ask me, for a quadruple homicide to go after what, 3 weeks, wait 3 weeks to go because you canvass the area. Number one, in and out of town, everything. You go one business I mean, you have to foot soldier that thing, right? You have to go from one
Yeah,
business to another. Give us
yeah,
the
yeah.
footage.
Boots on the ground, man.
Boots on the ground,
Yeah,
and not just
yep,
neighbors, like everybody. And what
yeah,
strikes me as odd as well is they did, in one sense, they asked the community to give them footage if they had any, right? And the
yeah.
community just like kicked back and did not really do much. I guess they just waited for law enforcement to show up at their door to give them the footage. You know what I mean?
Right.
Instead of
Yeah.
like being a little bit proactive, like, listen, dude, I don't know if anything happened that night, but here's my footage from my store or from my business,
Yeah,
right?
the businesses should have done that. The businesses should have
A
done
little
that.
bit, yeah, maybe been a little bit more proactive. And then
Yeah, because
after,
that's a huge thing. I mean, that's a, you'd think if I owned a business, that'd be the first thing I'd do. Yeah,
yeah,
when I hear
yeah,
about it, I'd be
yeah.
going right to that machine and seeing if there's anything on the tape.
Correct. Like that little girl or
You know,
that woman who worked at the gas station, right? She was like, "Oh, I'm bored one
right?
night." Now, who owned that gas station should have been proactive and said, "Let's just give law enforcement that
The,
night,
th-
the whole night. Let
right?
them go through it. Let them
Yeah, let them go
canvas
through it.
through."
Right,
And maybe
right,
some did, and that's part of that, 51 terabytes of data. Who knows?
right.
But
Yeah.
they sure as hell did not go through it all. So,
And that ticks me off too. The way they did that, the prosecution. I mean, they went through that whole 51 terabytes. They did.
mhm.
Otherwise, you know what I'm saying. Otherwise, they wouldn't have gave it to the defense. But let's say they're going 1 terabyte at a time, right?
Yeah.
So you got 1 terabyte, and let's say there's 500 gigs of evidence, right?
Yeah.
Off that 1 terabyte.
Or maybe even just
It's
10.
yeah, just 10 gigabytes. Right. It wouldn't be that
Yeah.
much. Okay. So
Yeah.
there's 10 gigabytes, let's say. Instead of just giving them the 10 gigabytes,
Mhm.
they give them the whole 1 terabyte to go through. And they did that for 51 terabytes. They just threw it on their lap and said, "Here,
Dumped it.
go
Yeah.
find the evidence. Go
Yeah.
find the evidence."
Yeah.
Instead of saying, "Here's what we have, and show
Mhm.
the cuts of it." And I think, to me, that is really dirty. That is
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it speaks volumes because, as I say,
it
I
does.
really have a feeling or a suspicion that they just ran through it real quick. Like they did not like if they would have given out 51 terabytes to the community here, the YouTube community, we would have been all over it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we would have
We
known
would've
by
been,
by
oh
morning.
Lord, that would have been like something, because
Oh
that's
my
one thing
God.
we're good at
Right.
is like we sit down and we just go over all the
Go
details.
ahead.
So
Right.
relevant or not, but we can give them like, okay, have a look here, have a look minute here. But they
actually might want to think about doing that
I don't
in
know.
big cases. I mean, well,
Yeah.
think about it. There's so many crime channels out there that would do this and that are good at it.
Yeah.
They're good at it. I mean, and you know what? They would probably like doing it.
Yeah, they probably needed people with like that passion. I
Right.
don't know, like they were probably passionate about finding obviously who did this. I'm not going to say they didn't, but we were passionate. Like I think we were
Very.
so passionate about getting resolution, finding who did this horrific thing to these poor young people. We were very I
Yeah.
mean, I know you were too.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
it just struck a chord in all of us. And it might be
Yep.
because we don't have all the details. It sort of perpetuates it. I don't know. But we want to help. We want to help. So
Yeah.
anyway. All right, let's keep going. I get passionate about it to this day.
Yep.
As viewers, and I imagine a lot of other people are confused about the difference between the state of Idaho withholding evidence and the defense suppressing the evidence.
Well, I guess it can be a little bit confusing, because all the way along in this case, Tommy's viewers told me, and they were right, look, the state has not been forthright in, disclosing evidence. And there have been all these motions to compel and, motions for additional discovery. And so they said, so what's this if they're not putting out the evidence? What's this about motions to suppress? And so that was a good question. A motion to suppress says that for whatever reason, fruit of the forbidden tree, you got that evidence illegally, and so it should be suppressed. Let me give you an example. The first case that Ann Taylor cites is the state versus Thompson. Now, this is not Bill Thompson. This is Julie Thompson. And in that case, the state ran a pen register on Julie Thompson, and a pen register just simply tells police what telephone numbers were called by a telephone and how long those calls were. That's it. It's just a register of the telephone numbers that were contacted and how long the calls were. It does not provide the substance of the telephone call or the audio. So the investigators started this pen register on poor Julie Thompson, and based on that, she was calling a drug dealer all the time. So then, based on that, then they got a warrant. They got a warrant to follow her, and then they found her going out and dealing drugs at various places, including an Idaho prison. So now Julie Thompson faces charges in the courts in Idaho for dealing drugs. Well, her attorney comes in and says, wait a minute. You did not have a warrant for the pen register. You just did it. So the court says, well, I don't know. And the court finally issued a motion to suppress the drug information that was obtained by wiretapping her phone. They said that the wiretap was illegally obtained because the police did not have a warrant for the pen register. So the motion to suppress the telephone calls was granted, and the telephone calls were all thrown out. Now, just as a side note, that's not federal law. That's not federal law. The United States Supreme Court has said a pen register does not require a warrant. But Idaho and the states are all allowed to have additional protections, and the Idaho Constitution and the Idaho Supreme Court do extend that additional protection. And so, based on the fact that the Idaho law enforcement started this pen register without the benefit of a warrant, then the subsequent evidence was suppressed, and it's called the fruit of the poison tree doctrine because they got it illegally.
So I heard that Tommy,
and that is what we were just talking about earlier. That's what I think that they did. Is they somehow maybe possibly wiretapped him or something akin to that, because I believe the 3 cases that they brought up all had similarities to wiretapping and things like that. So
there's something going on there.
Exactly. And that's that suppression of that evidence in my book, but we'll see when things start coming out.
Yeah. I think I agree with you on that though.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jude was characterizing your discussion as an attempt to stump Attorney Myers, but it sounds like some of his viewers actually had some insightful questions.
Yeah, they did. He invited me to be on his podcast. I hosted with him one other time a while ago, and so then they said, "Let's see if we can stump a Myers." So we're going to see if they did.
What do you think about Ann Taylor coming out and saying she believes Brian to be totally innocent?
I don't think a lot of people realize how important that is, because a lot of defense
Yeah,
attorneys.
it is.
It's really important because a lot of defense attorneys will tell you correctly that their job is to make sure that their client has a fair trial. Now, I've done a little bit of defense. I'm not an expert at it, but I've done some defense, and I went to a seminar at one point of some really expert defense attorneys who are top of their game, and they said a lot of them agreed that they don't want to know if their client is guilty or innocent. They just want to be able to walk out of the courtroom when it's all done and know in their heart and their mind that they were certain to preserve the defendant's right to a fair trial. So that's what most of them feel like. Whether they don't want to know if their client is guilty or innocent, they just want to make sure that all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted, and that they, made sure that if there's a motion to suppress to be filed, they did it. If there's evidence to object to, they did it. And so for her to actually come out and say that she believes that he's innocent, that's significant. That's really significant. So,
and that is, I think says a lot, and she says it every chance she gets. She's putting that out there, that she has full confidence.
And it's not an act. It's not an act. It's not a. They just don't do that. They
no.
And he didn't like that comment too much I made about, especially what do you call public defenders.
Oh yeah. Because their reputation is on the line.
Right. And they usually go for the plea bargain and more than like a regular lawyer would, but I'm not saying anything bad about public defenders or in any way. It's just that's kind of their job.
Yeah. No, and I listened to a couple of lawyers saying the same thing, that this is not a common thing that they do, because at the end of the day, their reputation is on the line for
it is,
and they don't care about more than their reputation is really what they care about too. Let's just say that,
right?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
So I think that's an important fact.
It is to me, it's very important that she believes that in his innocence, and that actually tells me a lot.
Yeah,
because I've wondered about that before she said that. I wonder if she really truly believes he's innocent. Then she comes out and says that, and I just about fell off my chair.
And then over and over again, and she started that. I would say a couple of months ago, right, is when we started hearing it. And she's pushing it, and not just her, everybody who's on the team is saying it over and over again too. And some people that are thinking Brian is guilty obviously is going to say, oh, they're doing it just to give the media, like to give that positive spin on it. But I really don't think that they would sacrifice their careers over this.
No,
in that sense, it doesn't make sense to me at all.
I think Bill Thompson knows that, and this is what bothers me the most, is that he has to know that Brian is not the guy. That bothers me the most of all of this. Because if you know it's not the guy, then go find the guy.
Exactly.
Well,
yep. And we'll see how that goes.
Right. Yep.
All right. I'll keep going.
Oh, I thought it was too. I thought that was underplayed, actually.
Yeah.
Because and especially being a what do you call a public defender, that they usually just kind of go for the the best plea bargain, don't they?
I don't want to paint with a broad brush, because public defenders, there are really good ones and there are other ones.
There is, yes.
I think we talked about this in the other episode I was on with you. She's a level above average public defenders because she's certified for death penalty cases, and it's correct. It's a level above. It's a level that I don't know if it was a really good analogy, but I analogize it to the difference between a regular driver's license and a CDL driver's license. I mean, most of us can get a driver's license. You read the manual, you go for the test. But to get a CDL, it's a level above, and you have a lot of constraints on you. You get busted for one DWI, you're done. So,
Right, right.
so she
I
is
see.
she's a higher level than the normal average Joe. And I saw
Okay.
one of
All
your one of your people said, do I think she's doing a good job? From what I see, I think she's doing a great job. She's
Yeah,
pushing
same here.
and pushing and pushing, and people don't
Holy
like her.
cow.
But so what? I learned a long time ago.
I love her.
I learned a long time ago that you step foot in the courtroom, 50% of the people are going to love you, and 50% of the people are going to hate you. So to the haters,
Right.
read between the
Yeah.
lines.
And he's right about that. Like, she's a step above too. So not only is she the head of
Yep.
that area, but she's also certified. So she's got a higher level of influence
Right.
in
Death
the community
penalty
as
thing.
well.
Yep.
So putting that
Yeah.
that statement out there, I think, has a bigger
Even
meaning.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
happy he brought
And
that up, because that's a big deal. It
it
adds
is.
on
It
to it.
is.
Yeah.
It is. And you can't even put a price on that.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
So, all right.
When she came out and said, she 100%, is behind Brian Colbert and his innocence, that told me a lot right there. And then the way she just doesn't give up. She just keeps putting it out there. And yeah, I don't have no qualms about her at all.
No,
Yeah.
no, and she's. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Moonflower Lassa, Tommy.
Lassa, right.
Lassa, Tommy.
Lassa, yeah.
You know your
She's
people,
here.
don't you?
She's here.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Tommy, if the prosecution cannot come up with the process they used to come up with Brian, will the case be dismissed? Well, I don't think it'll be dismissed, but it's certainly a factor that will weigh in the final analysis. I mean, the prosecution will argue. I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just telling you what they're going to argue. They're going to argue that, well, hey, his DNA was on the sheath. So forget about the IGG DNA or the process by which we found him, because the DNA was on the sheath. So now the argument switches over to, is that reliable? And that involves at least two arguments. One is touch DNA enough? And I did an episode where I cited some courts that say no. And then the second argument is, so what his DNA is on the sheath? It doesn't mean he was on the sheath. That doesn't mean he was there. So that's my answer to your question. It's not a be all end all kind of situation.
So you don't think it'll get dismissed over?
No,
over
no,
something
not
like
over that. No, it won't.
Okay.
It won't be.
And I don't think so either, because that's just what they're going to say, because they took a cheek swab and that matched, to whatever
Right.
touch DNA was there. Now they're going to probably argue touch DNA, that part. So, and it is, I listened, as I said, to Andrea Burkhart, and
Yeah,
she explained
she's
it
great.
like it is very new. And so these are not established yet as much as we would like to think it is, because I mean, we've had DNA for a while,
But not
it's
this.
not
This is the first one. This is the first time that they're using IGG in
exactly.
a open case. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's always used for cold cases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And then there's a difference.
Not over
That's a huge difference. That's
Yeah,
a huge difference.
there is a huge difference, because we're
There
still
is.
at a thing where they ran through CODIS, they ran through several different, like they ran the DNA through several different places until it got to the IgG part, is where they identified it, because
Right.
isn't
And
the
why did they
IgG
treat?
yeah.
Why didn't they treat them other three DNAs the same way and run? They only picked. They just happened to pick Brian Kohlberger's DNA
Yeah.
off that sheet.
Well, I would
You
say
know
the
what I'm
other
saying?
two, because the third one was the other two were in the area of the crime, so where the crime took
Right.
place,
Yeah.
right? So I would say the
Yeah.
other two are probably more
Yeah.
important. And yes, why did they not go that distance? Because
Right.
they ran it through CODIS, nothing came back, but so did Brian's, nothing came back, right?
Nothing came back. That
And
showed
then
that they're male, and
exactly.
that's it.
hmm
Yeah. But why wouldn't you run all of the DNAs? And that's what makes me think of a setup. It really does, because
Yeah.
I mean, I hate saying that, but and people, oh no, that it can't be done. They didn't do that, and blah blah blah. But you know what? Yeah, they could have.
Well, no, they
Yeah, they
intentionally focused on one person. They zoomed
Right.
in and built a case
Yep.
around one person, is what it
Yep.
looks like from an outside perspective. And it's
Exactly.
easy to say, like, well, they have this and this and this and this on him. Yeah, because you built the case around him. You can
Right.
find shit on anybody out there. It doesn't matter who it is.
Exactly.
The most
Right.
well behaved person you can find crap on, right?
Anybody in that area that
Area.
went by the
Well, of
house.
course.
You know what
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But they could have focused on anybody, right? And just focused
Right.
in and
Yep.
built a case around that person. Just as they could have
Right.
focused in on the other two DNAs and probably built a case around that too. But they just intentionally focused on Brian for whatever reason and, thought they had the guy, which, well, we don't know yet,
There's so many things. There's so many things, Golf, that bother me about this case, uh, and another thing is clearing so many people so fast,
hmm
especially when you have. And we talked about this last night with Willie. When you have a guy going towards the house at 3:15 and then comes running back and jumps in this truck and they take off at 4:23,
hmm
that who are these people and why didn't they? Why don't we know anything about them?
Well,
Why,
so
you know?
that's assuming if we take the Linda Lane footage, which came from a
Mm,
who knows what source. We
yeah, I
have
know.
to,
I know where it
yeah.
came from, and
Well,
she
and
doesn't have a good reputation. But
yeah,
I mean, I've studied that, and I know it's that night, and I
yeah, yeah,
know that
yeah.
you know.
But
Um,
who
so
knows for whatever reason they did that, and could he be a friend of a who knows? And so yes, there's a lot of situations like this that happens around cases. I'm guessing.
well, I got to ask you this. I got to
But
ask you this.
you
What
know
do you
what I
think
have a
about
bigger
this?
problem with
What's
after
that?
you ask my question. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Uh-huh. Uh,
No, go ahead.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
go
thank
ahead.
you. um, I was going to ask you what you thought about this Caroline. I think that's her name that called into Mama D, saying that she's a friend of Kopaka and that he was at Linda Lane that night arguing with his girlfriend. And there's people saying, and I've heard it, these people arguing, and she said that's his voice, that's Kopaka's voice, and his girlfriend lived there. And she knew Kopaka and is a friend of Kopaka.
I honestly never heard that before, and
Mhm.
the first thing that pops into my head is Dots, right? It's similar to Dot's
Yeah.
situation. So I generally what I do in this and in this IDAHO4 case, since they've had the PCA that day that they released Brian as the suspect, is I've been focusing on what we have in court documents and what we have in hearings and such things.
Right.
I will not solve this case by myself, not knowing all the details,
No,
obviously.
no.
So there's people that gonna come out from the woodworks that are who knows what they are. It sounds interesting,
It
obviously.
does sound.
It
Did you
sounds
listen to
yeah.
it?
No, I have not.
Yeah.
I have not. So
You should go listen to it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It's. I think she's got on the OMG something maybe, or it's just from a few days ago. So
Okay.
maybe within a week anyway. Within the week.
Okay. Well, I'll go
It-
listen to it, but I
yeah, go
have
listen
to
and
like sort
see
of
what you think about it.
yeah, I have to
Yeah.
distance myself from such things a little bit because if the source is unclear and anybody can call in and say anything, and we learned that from Dots, right?
Right. Right.
That was sort
Yeah.
of unfortunate
Well, she's
that
saying that
happened.
she was in the service. She's in the service with him
hmm
at
And
Fort Bragg.
how do we
So
verify
yeah.
that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But I'll be happy to listen to it, and if
Yeah, I
something comes
think
out later on, I take it into consideration.
just
But
get your feeling.
yeah,
Get your feeling of it. You know what I mean? See
yeah.
what you feel about it.
But
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what I have a problem with, and that
Uh-huh.
is mainly from day one. Do you remember that picture? I'm gonna try to find it. That actually was taken outside from when it all happened.
Uh-huh.
Somebody posted a picture, and it was, as I say, taken outside, and it was the student. You can see those everybody
Students.
sitting outside
Yeah,
on
how
the
huddled
ground,
up and stuff. Yep,
huddled up.
huddled
Yeah,
up.
you've seen it, right?
Blankets and stuff. Yep. Hmm.
Yeah. So what I have a problem with that mostly is you see them together. So the number one thing you do is they were not separated. None of them were separated.
Right.
So
So
let's say they were all witnesses. Why were they not separated?
exactly. Yeah.
That has me a
That's
little bit
because
like,
they didn't know what they were doing. They didn't know. They've never,
but
experienced
isn't
anything like this.
that 101? Like you separate all the
Yeah.
witnesses and then
Yep, it is.
because they can sit there and talk and yeah, they were in shock and all that. I'm sorry you were in shock, but that's just something we have to do is
Let's
separate
tell
you.
them this. Let's tell them this.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah, yeah,
tell
yeah.
them this.
Yeah,
Don't tell
and
them this. Yeah, I can
exactly.
see it
So
going on.
who
Right.
knows? And that I think when I saw it, I was like, holy moly, they didn't separate those kids. They were just sitting
Right.
all together. Yeah, there were an
Yeah.
officer standing right there, but I bet she didn't walk around and like just stand there all the time. She probably walked around and did this and that. So just that
Right.
showed me that, oh crap, they didn't separate those kids. And I'm sorry I
Right.
call you
Yeah.
kids, but that
That's what they
seemed
are
wrong
to
to me.
me.
I'm trying to find that
No,
picture,
they're
but I think
kids.
everybody remembers it anyway and have seen it so far. Maybe we'll do a
Yeah,
show on it once.
Susan said that she hasn't seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll try to find it here when we maybe open up a panel or something like that in a little while. I have it
Yeah,
open here, so
going
I'll
through
find it.
pictures is a real
Oh my
drag for
gosh,
me.
that's so many. But Susan, I promise I'll find it here when we open up the panel as soon as we do.
Yeah.
All right, let's continue with this video.
No, a lot of people hope, these cases are like, I don't know, they're like a diesel engine. There's so many moving parts, and just because one fails doesn't necessarily mean the whole thing, fails. I mean, Andrew, hey Yoli, you have a question? Oh, there's your puppy dog. we both have dogs that have arthritis, so I hope your dog is doing well tonight. Andrew, what do you think?
Oh my God, the laughs are funny.
A lot of episodes. Do you think prosecution will try to watch those episodes to get some impeached? Of course they will. Yeah, people do that all the time. That's a new thing. Even in my personal injury cases, the insurance companies, I bring a claim for a car accident injury or a slip and fall injury or something like that, and the insurance companies have their people. They have office assistants, legal assistants, minions.
Right.
Sit in a skyscraper with nothing better to do between their lattes, and so yes,
Right.
they even on this low
They
level.
watch.
They screen for social media. And I had a case not that long ago where my client had been injured in an accident, and she ended up going to a third world country and helping them build a school and a water system. So, that's a very low level compared to this. This is a personal injury case with a mediocre local New England insurance company. So yes, absolutely. I think the prosecution will have someone watch every single episode. Just
now, do you think that's probably good, Yoli? I like that question. And
a great question. Yeah,
I like that question too, because of what we heard so far. Remember, we talked about this yesterday. I haven't seen it myself, but the fact that Cyree posted something on Harsh, I haven't been able to find it. I don't know what he did with it, if he took it down. If somebody have it saved, please email that to me because I haven't seen it.
Well, it should be on Harsh's video because he actually brought it up, which shocked me. It's like, why would you do that? Why would you put that on a video?
I didn't see. So I was looking through his videos today, and I couldn't find anything about like Cyree specifically. Or am I missing something? I might have to go back and
Yeah, it was
scan
on
through
there.
them all. Okay.
Unless he went in and edited and cut it out of there, that part out.
Okay.
I suppose he could have done that, but I don't know.
Sort of. But that's important. Like it's important what he wrote, and if it's reference to the IDAHO4 case, and
Yeah, he shouldn't have. He should not have posted.
This question. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's keep going.
It is a great question because especially after the last one that he put out on Colorado, it was like, they come out with, he got, that one case dropped, and you can already see what's going on there. And then so he comes out
swinging,
he comes out swinging with the Colorado one to show that, this is what really happened. And I thought
The first thing every attorney tells their client is don't make any statements to anyone about anything. And I do the same thing even in my personal injury cases. Don't talk to anybody about anything and don't do anything on social media. So
Right.
because of that. And so I'm sure Mr. Ray is a former police officer for many, many, many years. And as a guy who's testified in court for many, many, many cases, I'm sure he's smart enough to know to watch what he says. Because absolutely, the answer to my question is absolutely they will watch. To see if there's anything. They'll not only watch it, they'll record it and transcribe it and send memos out to everybody and digest it. And, oh, don't laugh. That's the way it works.
It's true. I'm laughing because I know it's true. Yep.
Yeah, it's true. Sorry.
Yep.
Good question, though.
And it looked like attention was all turned towards this TUI process and whether or not they'll bring out some of the evidence that seems to have been hidden.
Well, that's what a lot of people thought, that this is some kind of a magical, legalistic kind of a procedure that will result in unveiling all the evidence that's been withheld. And that was the question that was asked. Here's the answer.
Now that they are operating under the, how do you pronounce that?
TUI process.
TUI process. Do you believe the FBI will turn over the cast report and not just a draft?
Well, I wish I had my graphic to bring up to you because I did an episode on this, I think about a week ago, where I pointed out the TUI regulations that the Justice Department has promulgated that apply to the FBI. And there are about 6 different reasons why they can refuse to turn over the information. One of them is to protect a secret informant unless that secret informant consents to the disclosure of the information. One of the other reasons why and this is all in the federal law, one of the other reasons that they can refuse to release the information is because of an ongoing investigation, that this might impede the ongoing investigation. One of the other reasons, which I didn't think of applying to this case, but it was impressed upon me that it does, is revealing trade secrets. The FBI can refuse to disclose information under TUI if there are trade secrets. How does that apply to this case? Well, what if they're using software? Ray has his software. Certainly, the FBI has their software. What if they're using a Stingray, and that is a trade secret? Right? So there are a number.
I'm just going to add this in there because if this is an ongoing investigation still, then there is a problem. I mean, for Brian, on Brian, an ongoing investigation into the homicide. Sure.
Well, I hope it's not on Brian. I hope there's an investigation going. Well, then it goes back to this Giglio thing, and then what's his name being like demoted, and it makes me wonder if it isn't him. What's his name?
I can't remember the names. I am horrible with names. Don't ask
what's
me.
What's the cop's name, guys? Why can't I think sometimes? Oh my God.
Everybody knows. Everybody knows who you're talking about. I'm sure somebody's gonna post it here shortly.
The cop.
Yeah.
And he got demoted, and it makes me think that there's something
Rosenthal
going on there. Rosenthal. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He gets demoted and stuff, and he's not on the streets anymore. So it makes me think that it's him.
We focused on that, but it could be actually.
Yes, Shelley,
I wonder if the Brady violation has anything to do with the surveillance that we talked about earlier.
Oh, that very well could be too.
If that is similar situation, so let's say they wiretapped Brian and didn't have a judge sign off on it. Could that cause a Brady violation?
That'd be a big no.
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking, but I don't know legally if it's a Brady per se Brady violation. That's another good thing we need to ask our lawyers.
Right.
If it could be that, or if that's totally different.
I'll ask Yoli on Friday. She's going to be on Friday, and I'll ask her on Friday about that.
Mm-hmm. Please do.
If I can remind myself, I have to write it down here or something.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah. Yep.
Number of reasons enumerated in the federal TUI regulations that validly allow the FBI to refuse to provide the information. So when people first hear about TUI, oh wow, yeah, listen to this. They can send off to the FBI to get this information. Well, but if you read into the TUI regulations, they can refuse for valid reasons. And the other reason, one of the other reasons is for procedural reasons. So if you've ever dealt with anybody ever at any level of the federal government, they can snare you up in procedural reasons from now to eternity. So
that whole episode actually went on a lot longer. So if you want to watch Tommy's full video, be sure to check it in the description.
Okay, I think that was it. And if you guys want to go check it out, I'm going to put the link out again. to Andrew's video and also to
He's got a great. That's a great channel. So anybody that
he's got a
isn't
great
subbed
channel.
up, yeah, he's got a great channel.
Yeah, this is Andrew's video full. And then of course, oh wait, let me copy yours because he was on your channel, Tommy,
Yep.
right? So here is
Yep.
is in full, I believe, on Tommy's channel. Let me put that out there as well. This is probably the better version because you get the full version. And
Right.
of course, Andrew's.
No,
I'm
you're
gonna
putting that
put
on
that out there.
YouTube, right? You got
I
a
appreciate.
separate YouTube up.
I just put out the link. Did I put out the right one or no?
Well, you have to put links out on YouTube, not
Yeah,
stream.
yeah.
You're not. Yeah, okay. You're not doing it in
I think they
StreamYard, right?
work. I am doing it in StreamYard. It actually works because I'm looking at the chat and it looks like it's coming out right.
Oh, okay. Well, that
Yeah.
that's weird.
Yeah.
It usually doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Somehow it works for me. It seems like
I wish it worked for me because it's just a big hassle.
Yeah, I bet if you can't do this, I didn't know I could do it. I just posted it earlier, and I looked in chat, and it seems
Yeah,
to
it
be
does. It
working.
looks
So,
like it works to me.
and that of
Yeah.
course is Tommy's channel, which I'm sure everybody's familiar with already, more than mine. So let me also go ahead and put out a link. I'm gonna invite people to jump up, so we can do an open panel.
Right.
And we don't have to stick to this, what we've been talking about so far. We can talk about the case from the beginning. We can talk about anything.
Right. Yeah.
And, just we can theorize and all that, but I think the audience already knows we don't have to like row our boat over to India, for
Right.
it.
Yeah. Right.
But I do welcome people to jump up, and I
Golf will
do
talk
appreciate
about anything.
everybody. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, except as Sebastian Rogers. I mean, I wish people, could spread
I
the
don't
word
know that.
on him.
It's
It's
well,
yeah.
I do know it, but and I've said this for since I've known this, since I've known about this case, and
hmm
they're never gonna find it. And they had too long.
Oh,
They had a month. They're just never gonna find that boy.
hmm
And
hmm
yeah, to me, it's over. And if they can't prove, then it's going to turn into a cold case.
It's been a little bit problematic with the circus around it. I think that's if people would just focused on the search part, what's out there as far as like, okay, these are the facts, this is what we know, this is what law enforcement is telling us, and then start search from there. But it's been so all over the place, and then this group didn't get along with that group, and so it turned into something it didn't have to turn into. And that's a little bit unfortunate for this boy because he's still out there somewhere. Hopefully he's
Right.
still out there somewhere is
Right.
my take on it. I
And
think he actually left. So
right, Susan, are you talking about the Koberger case? Yeah, it was when I first started. It was very much drug related and money, and it still very much can be. I've
mhm,
gone back and forth on that, and it's I would say it's, in my opinion, I would say it's, oh boy, 70% yes and 30% no,
mhm.
uh, that it's drug related and or money and or both.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
gonna pin this. I just pinned the StreamYard link, by the way, for anybody wanting to come up and join the discussion. I love this, and I love talking to people, and don't be nervous. Just,
Yeah,
come
come
up
on
and
up.
talk to us and join the
Come
discussion because
on down.
yeah, come on down. That's the best part of this is to be able to, because it's hard to follow chat. I can tell you that much,
It is,
everybody.
isn't
And I apologize for
it?
not following as much, and I appreciate each and every one of you being here and supporting us. but it's hard to follow chat
Yeah.
going back and forth and do StreamYard and the other and this and that.
Shelly's coming up, I think.
Who's coming up?
Shelly's going to come up. Shelly.
Okay, perfect.
Best of
Okay.
me. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, she's good. She's good on panel. I've had her
Yeah.
on panel before.
Good. I'm looking forward to
I think it was what was it you were on panel, Shelly? That wasn't that was on the what do you call Philadelphia, the mess over there on the streets and stuff. That Kensington. I did a couple episodes on the streets of Philadelphia that are really the homeless and and she had her own story on stuff on drugs and stuff, and it was quite a story too. Are you jumping up, Shelly, or are you just gonna talk about it?
Please feel free to. So if we go back to the beginning and we look at the Idaho 4 case, like how they didn't separate the witnesses and all that, and we're only seeing like little pictures like this. Imagine what else they have like not done right or correct. At least to me, and I'm not a police officer, but I know how to separate witnesses, or that's what you do. That's the first thing you do, and that struck a chord in me. So let me see if I can go over my photos here again and find that picture, because I know people want to see it. I might have not. Where on earth did I put that? I have folders upon folders, and I think I'm very organized, but not always.
Yeah, I'm not very organized at all. Terrible, actually. It's not a trait of mine.
Let's see.
I've had like girlfriends, think they're doing me a big favor, and they organize like all my music,
Yeah.
And all the lyrics and all that
there
stuff.
There we have her. Here we go. Let me add Happy Hounds, and then we have Best of Me. Hello, welcome.
Hello.
Good to have you guys on.
Hey, Shelly and Happy Hound.
Hi there.
Hello.
I'm sorry.
I've never done anything like this, so
first time for everything. You'll be fine.
Does my face have to be on there, or
no? You're good.
Great.
If you see where it says cam on the bottom, if you make it not red, or no, if you make it red, it'll just go to a circle. There you go. Now we can't see you. You can pick your nose now.
Yes, and scratch my butt. Yeah.
That's right.
So this is totally cool for me.
Right?
Yeah, seriously. I've been an admirer of both Tommy and the golf inspector for a long time.
Me as well.
I think it's great. Now, what is your name? The other person? I can't quite see it.
I'm sorry. My name is Shelly. But my handle says Best of Me. It should say it anyway. And I'm sorry, you guys. I am still getting over, I think it was the flu. But oh my gosh, it was, my whole house has had it. My mom, my dad, it's just been horrible. But so I sound nasally.
Sound great to me.
Sound good.
Well, thank you.
So I just wanted to share a little bit about me. I never knew there was a true crime thing until the Koberger case, and so that like third day something came up. I think it was T-Rev. And I started watching that, and then I don't really watch it anymore. But then a lot of your cool channels came up, and that's and I'm
you're obsessed
older
now, right?
Yeah, I'm way older probably than any of you, and I actually lived in Moscow for like 19 years.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
wow.
And I'm telling you what I have seen and heard. It just breaks my heart, because it is not the place that I lived in, to me, and I went there when I was like 19. I went there in 1973, maybe 2 or 3. And
Okay.
I left in close to, 1990. And the thing that is so fascinating to me is, okay, I went to school. I was in Moscow. Everybody kind of knew everybody. And I ended up being asked by some dentist that had come to town, and he went around to the bars and told people he was opening a practice and he wanted a certain type of dental assistant to work with him. And my name came up more than once. And I hated dentists. But I ended up working for him for many years. So, and because it was such a cool dental office, no instruments shown. There's a house on the top of the hill on the way to Lewiston. He bought that and turned it into his office. And I was a DJ at night, and he had like a Harman Kardon system in there, and I would tape my shows and tape different types of music. And when the person came, they would put headphones on, and he would drive us over to Seattle, and I became, certified for nitrous oxide and IV sedation, and it was just a cool place, and highly respectful of the patient.
Oh, I bet you were popular for the nitrous oxide.
Well, and just for the whole setup. I mean, if I saw you even flinch, he would stop and I'd say, "Are you okay? Do you need more?" Anyway. But
that was me in the chair going, "Oh, I need more. I need more."
And the thing that's so fascinating to me is that the Greek system and the town and other students they never interacted. Okay. So almost all the bars downtown, it was locals and students who went there. The Greeks went to, nobody went over to Pullman. When I first got there, I went out there on a national student exchange program, drove across the country from Maine with another guy and girl. And we all, when we went there in August, all the apartments were taken. So we had to live in Pullman for a couple months.
Where were you from, may I ask?
Maine.
Oh, okay.
The state of Maine.
Right.
And I just lost my train of thought.
I'm sorry.
Oh, and no. The bars in Pullman sucked. It was also, I think I would go to it was either Moscow or Pullman that the drinking age was 18 and the other state was 21. I'm trying to think. I think it was Idaho that you could drink at 18. And so people always came over to Moscow. And Moscow, I mean, a lot of the stuff that they say that I've heard about Brian Koberger, I totally get it. I mean, I get it's at night in that area is stunning, especially before they take the wheat down, because the Palouse has, which is the region they call where Moscow and Pullman are, has these rolling, it's the pea and lentil capital of the world, and pretty much where much of our wheat comes from. The wheat, the golden wheat, just shimmers like waves, and the stars. You can lay down on your back.
Then it goes to Lewiston, the port of Lewiston, and then out to the ocean there. Yep.
And it is just stunning. So many of us, after work, if we work during the day, would either walk outside of town up to one of the top of the hills full of wheat. You'd lay down and look up, and you would see more. And I've been all over this country by car and camping, and you more falling stars than you can imagine. And it was just stunning. And Wawawi Park. Now, I actually camped there. I ended up getting married there and divorced there. But my husband worked for a big company, a fertilizer company there, and their base was down on the Snake River, and Wawawi Park is down on the Snake River. And when I went there, it was just a beautiful, quiet place. And the Snake River and the Clearwater River are stunning rivers, crystal clear. and beautiful. So driving at night, I drive at night now even. I live on Lake Washington in Seattle, and I love going down, driving different places along the lake. And the city's calm, and everybody went back and forth, and everybody did shop in Moscow. So all that stuff is true. And him driving at night was nothing to me. My husband and I used to, every night, to be fit or whatever, to eat as much as we wanted and then stay fit, would go out for long walks for a couple hours out through the back roads of the wheat fields. Okay. So, and also, I remembered that there was always a gate, but you could just park. I'm talking about Wawawi. And you could just park there and stroll through the park, which was very beautiful, and go down to the river. So the Greek people literally, they went to one bar called Ratskella's, which was just a kind of a disco, popular music type place. And everybody else, they were local bands. That's why I appreciate Tommy's musical work so much, because I also ended up cooking on the road for famous rock and roll bands and blues bands. And
Cool.
the first ones, were the Doobie Brothers, and then it just went on from there. Many people. And I'm serious, there were like 3 cops. It was like, and nobody hassled people. And for the amount of people that drove drunk back and forth between Pullman and Moscow, not many. It wasn't a big deal, and that all of this has become what it is. And Doug Wilson, his dad was some wacko. I'm sorry. Anyway, his dad was a preacher or something at the time, pushing right-winged fundamentalism. But it was nothing like when his son took over, and that's freaky. And the other thing I would say is when people bring up Christ Church maybe being involved, trust me, that guy does not like the cops, okay? And has issues with the cops, so that he would collude with the cops or whatever.
Got big issues.
It is just not, that's not a deal. And the other thing, one of the reasons I think
could there be one or two cops that are heavy into the church? Because I know Rosie's
at this time, yeah.
heavy,
oh my God,
yeah.
So many people. I mean, I have a girlfriend that knows more people still there than I do, and she is on the fringe of that church, right? I mean, she kind of attends, but she doesn't attend, or really. And I have messaged probably 4 people that just regular people a lot of people still live there. And I'll say, hey, what do you think about and I did this kind of early on. What do you think about the Koberger case? They would act like I hadn't even asked the question. And that is weird to me.
Scary. That's scary.
I think that somehow people are frightened. And that is why people are not coming forward. It's just weird.
They have reason to be fearful. And then you've got Christ Church involved there, I believe, in my opinion.
You think that
even worse?
You think that they're involved in the case?
Oh, yes, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that think that, and welcome aboard.
In what way?
Hi, welcome.
Financially,
I also think that the frats and law enforcement are involved as well.
Oh, the
I
frats
agree, Kathleen.
from day 2, or whenever I started hearing about Loach and started seeing all the pictures, and it's just wacky world. It is scary as hell to me. Especially as an older person, this is not in my conception of young people.
Well,
it's a different day.
I don't know if you guys have done much research on that church or anything, but it's worldwide.
No, but I know.
It's worldwide.
In a short amount of time.
It has the same name and everything.
Yep. Yeah,
They even
Wow.
have
what all
they
he's in
there's
charge
even
of?
one in Minnesota. There's even one in Minnesota where I am.
Have
and
you
they
seen
actually
So
all of
have
what he's
they're
other
in
huge.
charge
names.
of?
Wow.
They're
Say
huge.
that again,
They
Kathleen?
actually have some other names that they
He's in
call it.
charge of an awful lot of
Yes,
things.
Yes,
some
Uh,
of them have different names, but
yes.
they are connected. I did research on it, and yeah, some of them have different names, but he own. I
Right.
mean, he's the man.
He's the
He's the
head of
dude.
the church. Yes,
He's the head of the church. Yep.
and that women go along with the stuff he makes them
I can't
do.
believe that
Me
nowadays. I mean,
either.
he's trying to go back to the 50s and
It
40s and
it
whatever,
is
you know?
really scary. Yes. Yeah.
It
Absolutely.
is scary. Yeah.
Yeah. It's very undermining for women, but I guess some women like it.
It's I mean, he has some. I mean, husbands can discipline their wives.
Hmm.
Come on, that is
Yeah.
yeah.
freaking
That's,
That's
yeah.
scary.
He's
Jeez, I want to go
trying,
get
but
married. I want to go get married over there now.
What did you, Tommy? What did you say?
I want to go get married over there now. You know?
Ha ha ha
He,
ha
that's not Tommy.
No,
Tommy
come
would.
Tommy,
on.
we know. No,
We
we
know,
Yeah, Shelly.
we know his sense of
Shelly, I
humor.
think you need a spanking for saying that.
Yeah.
wait a,
Well, come
I'm
on.
getting my paddle.
Spanking,
I'm
Oh,
getting
my
my
plane
paddle.
ticket.
story.
Yeah, a wooden spoon.
Well,
I think spanking.
Um,
I think Tommy wants to get spanked. Actually, now that he's brought it up.
well,
yeah.
here we go.
So, Shelley,
Well,
Yeah.
thank
actually,
you
I
for.
have the Board of Ed paddle that I'm going to get Tommy with.
Go
I'm going to get him.
Whoa.
Shelley,
ahead,
Luck
girl.
with all that.
I'm
thank you
listening.
for sharing all that. Being that your first time on panel,
Yeah, that's really cool.
it's
Yeah,
Well, it's
amazing. Thank you.
it's been
yeah.
built, and I have a hard.
Wait, I'm sorry, you guys. That wasn't me that was talking before. I'm Shelly. I
That
just
was
changed it
Oh,
from best of me to Shelly. I apologize. I
I'm
should have
I'm
told y'all
I'm
that I
so
changed it.
sorry.
That's okay though.
I
You
see
probably
now.
thought it was her. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm new
that
to
was
this. Yeah.
What is your name, ma'am? That was just talking. I missed your name.
my screen name or my real name.
Yeah, whatever you want to go by up here.
Well, I'm Happy Hounds,
Okay, Happy
but
Hound.
it looks
Okay.
like Happy Hour here on my Happy
Oh,
Hour. Oh my
You
God!
got to
It's
have a
Happy
dog.
Hour.
You got to
Yeah,
have
and
a dog.
I've
A
been doing
hound
this for like
dog.
40 years. Oh,
ain't nothing but a hound dog.
all right, all right.
I'm trying to edit the names so we see them, but
No, that's fine. And you know, my thing with the sororities and Brian, no offense to Brian, absolutely. There is no way that sorority girls would hang out with Brian. Period. Not only
Right.
because he's older, but because he is not in a fraternity. I mean, he would if he was
Oh,
at a
the
party,
girls
one
from
of their
yeah.
one of their
He's not
parties,
built either. He's
right?
kind of wimpy. He's not built. You know, these girls
Well,
are
he
sharp
looks pretty
looking.
built to me, but he's old. I mean, come on, when you were that age, somebody in 28 was old.
Mhm.
Yeah.
At least
And
it
he's
was.
also
Yeah,
got his
you're
gun
right.
thing on.
And it's a
It does
status
feel
thing.
like a big difference when you're that age. It
Yeah,
does feel like
and
a big jump. But when you get, into your late 20s, then somewhere in the 30s doesn't seem too much of a big deal.
oh hell, most of my
You're
boyfriends have
not
been in
into
their
this
30s.
still.
Shelly,
God,
Shelly,
Damn it.
Shelly,
Yes,
Shelly.
yes, sir.
Can you go?
Yes.
Do you see where it says settings down there?
Hold on. Let me get back out
Down
of.
below, where it says start cam mute.
It says
that.
more.
It
Yes.
says settings. Go into your settings and lower your mic just a little bit.
Yeah, I was unable to. I tried, but I was
Yeah. I'm
unable
sorry.
to.
Let me try. I go
am I screaming?
audio.
No,
You
Do
sound
I
fine to
sound?
me, but
I think it's
The
just
um.
Shelley.
Okay, so
settings and
guys, it says
it'll say
default.
audio or
Okay,
mic
let
setting.
me put it to my headset
And
earpiece.
scroll down once you get to the audio, and it'll say mic volume.
I'm sorry. Hold on.
Do you have an Android or a Apple?
Hello.
Do you have
I'm
Android or
sorry, guys.
Apple?
You went away for a minute. I have
You
an
have an
Android. I'm
okay,
not.
so
Oh,
do
you're
I.
on phone. You're on
So
the
if you look
phone.
down
Oh,
at the there's
Yeah.
along the bottom and it says mic.
Oh, mic volume. Okay,
Chat,
tell me if
yeah.
this is
I
working.
got it. Actually, I found it.
Okay.
okay.
It
Yeah.
says 49, 48. Okay, is it
Yeah,
sounding
I got
better,
it
guys?
too.
I'm
Yeah,
not
it's much
talking. I'm
better.
not talking very loud.
Much better. Now,
Okay.
if I could just make
Tommy?
everybody's name pop up on the screen, I think we would be
Right.
perfect. But it won't
Right.
let me edit the names, unfortunately. I go
Well,
into
mine
the
says
three
Tommy?
dots.
happy hour. I kind of like
That's
that.
it.
Can you help
That's
her
it.
with that, Tommy?
Like before you go into the actual studio,
You put your
there's a
name.
thing.
Yeah,
Thing
we
that
put
you
our own name.
check. Yeah. Well, there's a thing
That's
you
right.
check.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a thing that you check. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You
Okay.
might be able to still do it. Yeah. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but it won't let me actually do it, unfortunately. So sorry.
You'd have to
Yeah,
leave the
okay.
studio and come back in, is what you'd have to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So Tommy, did you have many people? I would love to know what you guys think of the gal that knew co-packer so well. Has anybody really responded to when you shared? Go to that channel, go to 11 True Crime, and listen to that interview.
I
To
don't.
me,
I haven't. I haven't
mind
really
blowing.
gone over my emails. Yeah, I think it's mind blowing myself too because she sounded very sincere, and
You're
And she
talking
was
about from 11:11. Are you talking
yes,
about
true
from?
crime.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
she
sounded
sounded very
very real,
sincere,
like genuine.
very
Yeah,
real,
like genuine.
Well, she
very
was
real.
on the
That's
She said
same.
why.
she slept 30 feet away from him.
Exactly.
Yeah,
She
30
knew
feet
him.
or
Yeah,
and
from
just
the
the conduct that she discussed about the particular people that were in that war area,
military.
military at
Yeah.
that time,
Yes.
when she
and
repeated
she also
several
said,
times,
he's a really nice guy, and he wouldn't,
and
do
he would
anything like
never
this.
ever
Never,
unalive
ever do
citizens.
something
Yeah,
like this. Right,
Yeah, I
right.
truly trust.
Never.
I mean, it was almost like I didn't even feel like I needed to vet her from like I mean, that's just the feeling I got. Obviously, it's not,
Right.
you know,
There's
good
and
to
one
she,
thing.
not
I mean,
for.
I know where she lives. She lives in Woodby, right over here, and it was
Yeah,
in big naval base on an island.
yeah.
And just the way she
It'd be good
described
to
that, I
have her
knew
again.
I would love
Right.
to hear
Yeah,
her and maybe have us get some questions or
Right.
right. Be prepared for her. She wasn't prepared for her to pop up and have like such a like. Oh my gosh, I have a gem here. You know,
totally. It's
we
like
could have got so
really
much
to at
from
least
her.
know
There's
stuff
one
that,
thing that
yeah.
concerned me.
Okay.
I watched it last night and I couldn't tell you on what channel, but
Is this Kathleen?
yes, it is.
Great.
And what concerned me was the police were talking to Kopak in the hallway of the apartment building, and they asked him, his name, etc., the usual police questions.
Right.
And then they bring the girl out who didn't even know that her car was smashed up something awful.
Yeah, with the
And
glasses.
and
Crime
yes,
circus.
and
Right.
right, that's what it was.
Carmen.
Yeah.
I think her
And
name is.
Carmen, yeah. And
Yes.
Kopak kind of looked a little odd at that time. He was, fiddling with his hands and really didn't want to give him the information that they wanted from him.
Yeah.
And I was
About,
kind of concerned about that.
did they ask him about the accident? I don't remember that.
No, they didn't ask him. He's fiddling with his hands and where does
Okay,
he
yeah.
live? And he says, wherever it was, but not where he was talking to the police.
Well, where he lived was right next to where Brian Kohlberger lived.
Right.
Supposedly.
Yeah.
But somebody got that girl's car and smashed it up. There's no doubt in my mind.
And
Well,
I
yeah,
was
but I
stunned.
don't think it was her either. I don't think
No, no.
I never did think that when I seen that a
Right.
long time
No
ago.
way.
I thought
She-
there's no way this girl's drunk. There's no this
No.
She was
was
being
not
honest.
her.
And
She was being very
Yeah.
honest. Yes.
Mhm.
yeah, I agree. I
As a
agree with you, Tommy.
postscript,
Yeah.
as a postscript, Crime Circus said she actually was in jail.
Yeah, they put her in jail. They put her in the
Yeah.
orange
Yeah, they put her in
Yeah.
jail. Yeah.
orange
She was
Like
outfit
so
too.
scared.
9 months or something. I was like, what?
Well, that I don't know about, but yeah, they put her in the
Yeah,
orange
I don't.
outfit,
That was
and
wrong.
you know, all you kept hearing her say was that she wanted to talk to her dad.
Her mom and
And it just
dad,
broke
yeah,
my
her dad.
heart.
Yeah.
Just
Me
broke
too.
my heart.
I agree.
I mean, that's scary for all of us.
He
A lot of
he
this
had
is
no
scary
clue
for
what they
all
were
of us.
talking
What it showed
about. Yeah,
though
like
is
you
how
can just be
Moscow
plucked
police
out of the world,
is.
you know? What'd you say?
It shows how
Unbelievable.
it showed how the Moscow police operates. That's what it did to me.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're
exactly.
correct.
Yeah. Especially with younger people that, don't necessarily know how to deal with police officers. It's their first run in with them. They're looking for you to answer questions because they're confused and want help, but yet they're like, blaming you and it's like she's so confused of like, I don't know what to do because I don't even know what's going on. And I just
just
want
want
my
to talk to
dad,
my dad. And they,
so
yeah,
that
why
he
are
can
you?
tell me what to say, what to do, because she didn't.
And
I
she
can
was
tell.
looking for her keys. She kept looking for. She said she was
Yeah,
looking for her keys.
Yeah,
The cops, the cops should have went 1 + 1 = 2 here, or could equal 2. Let's ask her some different questions. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
find out the
right.
truth.
Mm.
I mean, they
So
gave her
my,
the alcohol
my,
test and everything, and
yeah.
that poor girl
Right?
went through hell.
My question to Golf and Tommy and
Probably, Randy. Probably.
everybody that's up on the panel, my question is, what, I didn't quite get, why would they stage an accident at his house? I mean, whoever it was, let's say it was on. Okay, why was that done? That's the part I don't get in connection with Brian.
I-
Or was there? I don't get it.
So you think that was staged, the accident that happened
Well,
right
I think
outside?
somebody stole her car.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
Possibly.
well, I don't know. It just maybe
But it could have
in
been her
TikTok.
sister. It could have been her sister stole the car and crashed it because she couldn't find her sister. Remember, and she couldn't
Right,
find the
right.
key. That
I guess
points
I'm
to
thinking
me.
I'm influenced
You
by
know,
I maybe a clown circus indicated that it had something to do with Brian. Was it you guys that did you show the film? I'm always on catch up usually.
Right. Lately,
No,
I
but we
haven't.
talked about it yesterday.
The film and showed the
Tommy, yeah.
film, and you said that's his voice, supposedly his voice in the body
Someone
cam.
heard that his someone. Yeah, I think it was possibly you. Was it you, Tommy? That
Yeah,
somebody mentioned that they heard uh
his
Brent's
voice.
name
Yes.
saying something about you cheated on me. You weren't at your
Oh
mother's.
no.
You cheated on me or something like that, right?
No.
that's what
That was
Kopaka.
that was
Caroline.
Kopaka.
yeah.
That was Kopaka.
Right.
That was his
said that.
girlfriend.
And
Yeah.
you know what? I think his name is probably Kopaka. He didn't give the police his real last name. He left that A out on purpose. I
Right.
He stopped.
Right.
Yeah, he was trying to take it back and stop. So he was like, Kopak.
Well,
That's
it's
it.
I
easy to
think
verify if that was him because I don't know if you guys saw that footage of when the one that was taken a body cam from the hotel when Kopak was staying at the hotel, and he was freaked out.
well, that's the only one I saw.
But that's where you hear his voice. And if you want to compare if that's his voice or not, you
Oh
say,
no, I'm talking about Brian Koberger. Wasn't it you, Tommy,
Right.
that
"Oh,
showed the body
Koberger."
cams?
Oh, I thought you were
No,
talking
that
about Kopak.
was Kopaka
I think we're
arguing with
talking about
I
with
thought
his
they were
girlfriend.
saying it was BK. Oh, of course, Brian. I
yeah.
associate BK with Brian Koberger.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was Kopaka arguing with his
Oh,
girlfriend at Linda Lane, and
yeah.
Right.
it's actually on the sound. And here's another thing: people were always said that the sound was off on Linda Lane and all that stuff. You know what? You go to True Crimes channel and watch that. You know
Yeah.
what? What she shows you matches exactly what's going on with the audio.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, she's done an amazing job. That
She
oh
has.
my God.
Yep.
About the 4chan, that changed my mind. I'm pretty solid that 4chan. Somebody knew something and they wanted to get it out there. It was just so
There's a lot
creepily
to it.
real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sure it's
Wade Bird.
right there.
Well, speaking of 4chan, I
Wade.
want to
Oh,
show
go
you
ahead.
guys something. No, I'm going to
Yeah.
share something.
Oh, good.
We talked about this yesterday, I believe.
I love how you say yesterday. I love it.
Oh, wait. Let me
Yes,
see here.
yesterday.
Oh, hold
It's
on.
almost-
It won't let me share that. Hold on. Let me do this. Let me
Oh, you
present.
got our names up. You did it.
Yes, I did. Yes, I
Oh.
did.
I can see it now.
Let me
Yeah. Good job.
Oh,
Look
did
at
you go out of?
learning
Did you have
all
to go out of
kinds
the? Did you have to go out of the studio, Golf, to do that?
Nope. No. Hold on. Let me see if I
okay.
can do it
All right.
this way.
I love it. The student teaching the teachers.
Let's see.
She's learning. She's learning as she goes.
Well,
Yeah.
she's learning pretty quickly.
I'm so
Yeah,
glad
I'm
that
gonna
you
have to learn.
started.
I'm gonna have to learn that one.
Oh, it won't. No, it won't let me. Dang it.
What are you trying to
thought
share, girl?
I'm trying to share a picture, a
Okay.
photograph.
Okay. Do the share again. The present.
Yeah.
And then share screen.
Well,
And
now
then
then I,
and
yeah.
share screen again, and then you'll see on the top up there. You see where it says Chrome tab, window, entire screen. Try one of those window or entire screen tabs.
Okay, there you go. Okay,
Yeah.
let me share that. All right, there we go.
There
So
you are.
speaking of 4chan, because that's what we were talking about this yesterday. Remember, there was a
Right.
photograph on when they did the investigation on 1122 King, where
That's that quote, isn't
That's
it?
a dead animal.
That's
hold
the
on.
code? No.
So somebody posted this on
Oh.
12/9/22, as you see.
12/9.
Okay.
Now, if you look at that, I would say top or something, and you compare it to the top that lays on the ground, that
It looks like a boar.
I don't.
It looks like
Sorry, go ahead.
it looks like a dead animal to me.
That's
I'm
what I
just seeing
think.
I'm not sure.
Let Golf
Go
finish.
on,
Let
go
Golf
on, Golf.
finish.
Yeah.
No, so
Let Golf
basically
finish.
what I was
Okay, sorry.
what I was talking about yesterday was, so they found, there is a picture, and I don't know if people remember this or not. There's a picture of where they took the footprint, and you can
Yes.
see the investigators taking pictures, and there was one of a like a sweater or something like
Yeah,
that on the
or-
ground.
That's what
A
That's what
jacket.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking.
And
Yeah.
it's the same color as this here, right?
Right.
Ah,
Yeah.
The only
And it
thing
looks
that
like the same
maybe.
place.
correct, but
Yeah.
and it's laying on the ground and it's got leaves over it. So
Oh, okay.
the thing is, could the leaves have fallen? That many leaves have fallen over it in like a
November?
24-hour period.
This
Yeah.
snowed.
In November?
There was snow on the
I guess
ground.
it depends on how windy it was.
No,
Really.
not yet, not yet. It's just, it was like snow here and there.
Oh yeah, 12/9.
Right.
Yeah.
There wasn't that
So
much snow.
no. This is not
Yeah.
like, this just was posted on 12/9. I mean, obviously the
Uh,
picture is,
I see. I see.
yeah. So I was just like comparing the two,
Interesting.
like what he's wearing to what was on the ground, basically, is
Oh,
like,
oh.
you know what I mean? Like it's like a
Yes.
hoodie.
Right.
It's a hoodie, and he's wearing,
Yes.
looks like he's got a jacket on, but he's got a
So
hoodie
that's a
underneath
guy.
there.
I thought that's a guy.
That's a person with a knife.
Yeah. Oh, I thought I was
Oh.
from
With
the
a
top
knife.
I thought
down.
it was a
Yes.
dead animal.
Yeah,
No,
me
no,
too.
no, no, no. This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
the guy,
I see. He's
and
standing
he's got
There's
a
a
mask
knife right
on.
there.
He's got a
Yeah.
mask
Yes.
on, and you see his little shoes at the bottom there.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Exactly.
Sneakers.
And as I say, someone posted this anonymously, and I could never forget it. And then I saw that evidence photo of a hoodie on the ground with leaves over it, and I thought it looks the same, because it could be black or dark blue, right? Because of
Right.
Right.
the flash or whatever
And
conditions this was
do you
taken
think
under.
those are emblems on his arm or what? Or something?
I have no idea.
But
I
he
think it's
hasn't
you
thought
Well, it
know
looks like he's
it-
definitely carrying a knife.
it's
Absolutely.
something the resolution on it is so bad.
Right.
It's super,
Right.
super
Hey,
bad.
Golf.
Mhm.
Can you go over again with your cursor and point out, like where you're seeing like the
That's the
head and
knife.
y'all were talking? I
This is the
missed it.
knife.
Okay.
So here's the
Go
head,
on.
right?
Okay.
He's wearing a sort of like one of those
A
Hoodie.
hoodie,
head-
and
Yep.
it looks
hoodie
the
and then a
Mhm.
mask over his.
Oh.
So you have his eyes right here, correct?
Okay.
Yeah,
or
and
the
it,
No,
mask. Yeah.
yeah, and your arm is right here.
the
She
arm
doesn't
is
see
right
Yes.
here,
it.
and here is
Right.
here is
The
the knife.
knife.
So
Yep.
arm,
Oh,
And
knife,
The
then
I
he's
see
got
shoe.
it. I see it.
Show
I
with the
black
got it.
shoe.
I've got
sneakers.
it.
There's
Yeah.
the
I
shoe.
can
and
see
Yep.
here's
it.
the
Yep.
shoe down here,
I
and then of
gotcha.
course this is the
White
background. So
soles.
Oh, I see it now.
Yes.
mhm,
Yes. We're looking like
Yeah.
down on him,
Yeah.
and he's
correct.
facing a little bit like,
To
yeah,
the
I
He's
side.
gotcha.
facing this way, right?
Right.
The
So
only
Yes.
the only thing that gets me here, well, this was uploaded on 12/9. That doesn't mean that that's when the picture
oh
was
no,
taken.
no,
Right.
no, yeah,
Right.
of
Exactly.
course, yeah. And then
But, you
if
know,
you can't really zoom in because the
how
quality is
often do
so
people walk around with knives out there, you know?
yeah. But yeah,
Right.
so it's really a pixel
Yeah.
photograph,
Can
right?
you see the
Right. But
shoes?
I can
You
see
know,
it. Yeah.
I
Here's the
wonder if
Yeah.
this
shoe.
They have
wasn't
white
taken.
I
soles.
wanna, can we
I
see
wonder
the
if this
shoes?
wasn't taken at Sigma Chi before they left or something.
okay, I
Golf,
just
can you show the shoes closer?
Yeah, let me see. I mean, you're
Yeah.
not gonna see it that good. It's really
Mm-mm.
super pixelated,
I kind of do though.
unfortunately.
There's that thing
They
in
look
the back
black with
by the
like a,
heel.
yeah.
There's that black thing by the heel there
Yeah.
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
top of the heel. I can kind of
so
see what it would look like.
I
And
just
it's a
find it
I
knife.
super interesting because, as I say,
could I
somebody just
toss?
posted it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Could I
Go ahead.
toss
That's
something out
very
to you
interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Very.
that maybe he has? I'm just thinking. When I look at that, I feel like I can see through his upper garment to
Mhm.
a jacket underneath that
Yes.
sleeve
Yeah.
with maybe a different clothing.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, could that be like a dark, clear poncho,
Mm.
or you thing like to keep
It's hard to tell
or
because
whatever?
of the pixelation, right? So if you look at this and you go really, really deep, everything is pixelated. He could wear like
Right.
a camouflage, like a black camouflage over it. Who knows?
Okay.
So it could be
I just don't
anything.
see that under his pants or up by his hoodie, but from his
No.
shoulder.
I can
His
sort of see
arms.
it
It
down
could
here
be
as
like a
well.
thin hoodie with something light color, like a white
Yeah, that's
something
what I'm
under.
thinking. But I'm
Mhm.
thinking more of a
Here's what
lace.
I'm thinking. Golf. Here's what I'm
Mhm.
thinking. Only because of some of the research I've done.
Yeah.
Up on the hoodie, okay,
Mhm.
where it shows like something chrome or something shiny, right?
Yeah.
That could be that thing that makes it so cameras can't pick up your face.
Oh, good
You know what I'm
idea.
talking
Right.
about?
Yes.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a
Good
great
The
idea,
idea.
the
Tommy.
glow thing.
But that's
It
his
Yeah,
like,
I
or
eyes.
if a
ran a show.
camera,
I
a
ran a
light.
show on it before. I ran a
No, but
show
that's
on
Yes.
that before.
Tommy, that's his
Yes.
eyes. So he's got a
Yeah.
hood, like the
Are
hoodie
they?
or the top,
It looks
and then
like
that would
a.
be his
That
eyes,
white
and that
thing
It
would
could
looks
Usually
be
like
a
a
the
hat.
eyes
mask.
would
Like
be back further.
yeah, that
Yeah,
looks
I
like
think
That
that
he
could
looks
be
either
like
like
has
the
that
a
top
looks
of
like
a
part of
hat.
the hoodie. That looks like
white
part of the
mask on
hoodie.
his face over his mouth, or
Could be. It could be a
Yeah, it's
mask
hard to
or
say.
the brim of like a white hat with a hoodie
well, that's
over it,
yeah. I thought
It,
it was a
or a
baseball
black
cap.
hat.
Yes.
here's what it looks
Yeah,
like. It looks like one of those onesies that they have.
could be too.
Onesie.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Those onesies
yeah.
where
They
you
have
flip
like
it over your head and it's got like
Oh, like
an
popping.
animal of some sort on top.
No.
But he's got
oh
some kind of
Oh, they were using
so
those too at Linda
Yeah.
Lane. Yeah,
Yeah.
the
they were.
thing over here, if you look at his mask, he's using it looks like there is like a mask underneath it that
I can
sort of you can't
see.
see his nose, and you know what I mean, so that sort
Yeah,
of masks his
I see it
features,
now.
right?
Yes.
And yeah, I mean, could this be Brian? Who knows? Could
Does
this
it
be
say
someone
where
else?
it
Could be
was?
Who knows?
anybody.
But
His
if
Does it
arms
say?
look pretty buff.
Doesn't look
this is
tall
the
enough.
sort of evidence they have and they're holding back, let's say, I mean, we could all change our mind tomorrow, correct?
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. But to me, this guy doesn't look as tall, just from
No,
a
he looks shorter and
perspective.
No,
stocky. Yeah.
no, he's not as tall. No,
That could
especially
be Van
when you
Stu.
look at the roundness, the round part of the head, and you go to that top of the head, and don't look at the mask, and don't look at the hoodie. Just go to that round part.
Right.
Right.
That's not Brian. He's not tall enough.
And he looks like he has a gut to me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
he's
the only,
he's
and this
stocky.
is interesting because of, Dylan saying she only saw the
Hey, you
eyebrows, right?
guys. Yeah.
So that
Oh,
would
what a
be
joke.
right
So many
here.
men
Would the
have.
eyebrows be somewhere? Like that's the
He
only
saw
thing she had visible to her is the eyebrows of the person, right?
Well,
And this could have absolutely nothing
Can
to do
I
with IDAHO4. Who
can I
knows? But it
point
was
something
posted.
out to you guys?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
What y'all were pointing at, what we were thinking was a knife. I believe that's he's got a wide stance, and that's his left shoe. And that's
Yeah.
that white part is the bottom of that's the sole, and then you see the black, and then and then his right foot, you just see the top of the shoe, which is like
it's sort of
a
back here somewhere. His
know what
other
I mean?
foot. Yeah.
But
And
I think the left that's his foot right there.
If you
that
look
does
up
look
on
like the
top,
K-bar.
if you look up on top, you see that one black white dot up on top.
Somewhere here.
No, up on top. Top. You're at the bottom.
Oh,
No,
you must
she's
be
at the
looking
top.
at.
There. The black dot. Okay, now on each side of that black dot are little bitty ears.
Ears? I don't see that.
There's the black dot.
Yeah.
And then little itty bitty ears, and below the white black dot is that white like mouth
I don't
or
know what
whatever.
you're talking about. Is that by where she's at?
Yes, she's right on the black dot right now.
Okay.
I don't
Now
see
above
that. That's the top of his head.
Oh, I see. Oh, the little, like a mask ears, like this animal mask kind of thing.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
And then the white part is I'm guessing is the monster teeth.
That's an animal mask.
Oh,
an animal mask.
They definitely look like monster teeth. Yeah, like a
There's
big
dot
girl of
right on the one ear.
I don't know if I.
Hey, it looks like an ape mask.
But we can definitely
That
see
could
the
be-
eyes. I'm telling you, this is the eyes because they even have a
Gosh.
glare. See, there's like a flash glare or something like that.
See,
with
to
the
me,
eyes
the
there.
eyes are.
See, now that looks like the mouth.
Same here. I think it's the mouth.
The white teeth, the mouth.
Yes, and then up, and the head is slanted like an ape mask. I wore one for Halloween.
Yes, and that black dot is an eye. Up.
Yeah.
You're going down.
I know, but
and
yeah.
then the two
ear
little
too.
ears. The two little
there's
ears.
two ears. Yeah, it's
Yep,
like
I can
little
see it.
cub ears.
It looks
Those
like
two
an
little
ape
ears
mask
are
that
really, really
you pull it over your
prevalent.
head.
But it to me it seems like it's
It could be both. I see both.
it's really weird because of the pixelation of this.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think he's wearing a jacket with a hood back here as well.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm
Right.
saying is like clearly to me, yeah, you can see it as a mask, I guess. if you focus on that. But I think
no, not just a mask. I see it as an ape head that you pull over your head. I wore one
that's
for
what they
Halloween.
had that's what they had. That's what they were wearing over at
Yeah.
Linda Lane too. Crap
They
like
were?
that. Yep.
Gosh, it could almost look like
And
two
the
different
whole
people.
outfit. The whole outfit.
Ooh, now I have to go back into StreamYard. I'm sorry, I probably missed everybody's comment there. What God is thinking. So let me stop
Tommy
sharing.
was. That's
You're
more
fine.
Gorilla mask. Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Baseball. Rach thinks it's a baseball cap.
All right.
I did originally
Hello,
until I
thinks it's
started
gorilla
really
mask.
looking at it.
Natural thinks it's an animal mask. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
Twizzle.
now I-
Twizzle. Hey, Twizzle Stick. How you doing?
Hey,
Hey,
Twizzle Stick.
Twizzle.
I'm waiting for your email, buddy.
Hey, you should hook up with Happy Hounds. I'd love to have Happy Hounds on one of these times too.
Yeah, yeah. Get her,
I've done that.
Okay, yeah.
got
Just
a
let me
great
know.
story there to
Do
share.
you?
And
Yeah.
So I don't get how people get people's emails. Do you have my email? Where
No,
is
but
that?
I'm going to ask
Yeah.
for it.
And then how do I?
Right.
How do I
Don't do
give
it.
it to
Don't
you?
do it.
you
How
can
do,
put it in the private chat, in the back chat, if
Put
you
in the
don't want to.
private
see,
chat.
I
Yeah.
don't know what a back chat is. When you guys
It's
talk about
the
back
Yeah.
chat,
private chat. So
See where it says comments, then it says private chat up on top there.
yeah, you can
no,
put it
because
To
I
the
in.
have an
right.
Android. I don't see that
I
at
was gonna
all.
say private, but I see chat.
Oh,
Yeah.
You're
okay.
gonna
Well,
have to
I
Kathleen is my
email.
see. It says
she's the
on
one
the
that
bottom.
books
It
all
says
my
chat with
shows.
everyone in the studio. Is it on the bottom? It'll say where you go to write. It says chat with everyone in the studio. So that means like just us who are up here on panel.
Is that
It
on
says
your
chat
Android? Is
and
that
then
with a
comments.
more? No, I
Yes,
see. All
it's
I
on the
can
bottom
see
of
is
my
Oh, now I
phone.
see everyone.
all I can see is you're in the show and then a blank. I can't see chat at all.
Click
I have a
click on
Samsung.
your yeah, I have an Android, but okay, click on your name where you see the little square, go like X out and then click
Right.
on your
Oh, I'm not going to X out. I have no idea
no, no,
how
no,
to
no,
do
no.
it.
I was saying, what
Name.
I meant was X out of chat if you were on that, but that's okay.
Oh, no,
On the
I don't do
bottom,
anything. Yeah.
do you see where it says more and leave and chat and cam
I
and
do see
mic?
more. Yes.
Okay,
Do I
click on
click on
more.
more? Okay.
Go ahead
Yeah.
and draw, yeah, and then see where it says comments
I just
on
get
the
a
top.
white blank. I just see a white blank screen, unfortunately.
Okay, all right,
But
that's
I
okay.
can
Then I was
email.
gonna try, but
I was going to
yeah,
say
just email either Tommy
yeah,
or
or golf.
Yeah.
Golf
Yeah.
will send you.
Happy.
Yeah.
Once
Yeah.
upon a crime time at gmail.com.
I remember I've actually emailed you in the past, but okay, I got that.
Okay. All right.
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And
I am
Golf, do
not.
you have your email on
What
your
do you come?
page
What do
yet?
you come? What do you come
I
in
do.
as?
I do.
You come
Yeah.
in as
Happy
Happy
Hounds.
Hound?
Okay.
Okay.
Hounds. Yes.
All right.
HONDZ.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Or
then
Okay.
I
Tommy, you'll send it to me.
Yeah, and I'll
yeah.
send Kathleen does all my bookings for me. So,
Oh,
um,
cool.
and she keeps me organized. Trust me.
Wow.
I need a Kathleen too.
Otherwise,
I
I'll
was
get
gonna
that
say
gavel going.
we're gonna.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, thank you. I mean, Happy Hound. So, when is the last time you were? Because I'm curious. When is the last time you were back in that
Right.
area?
I only went
Yeah.
over there like 2 years ago,
Oh,
and
okay. Okay.
Right.
I
Okay.
was a little shocked at how quickly there's so much more industrial. So between Moscow and Pullman,
Yeah.
as you leave Moscow going toward Pullman, for years, I mean, there was a mall. Oh my God. That was it. A mall
That
that
was the thing to do.
that was attached to, there's a guy from Coeur d'Alene who's super wealthy and he built a mall in Seattle first. I'm sorry, Seattle. Moscow first, and then he built a huge resort up in Coeur d'Alene, and mostly so the Moscow area was very liberal because
Yeah.
there's 2 universities, and
Yeah.
it had the richest wheat farm. The farmers in that area. At first, I thought it's not the university, because the farmers between Moscow and Lewiston and over to Colfax and stuff in Washington, multi-millionaires, even back in the 70s, right? And so everybody I moved to Seattle where I live now because I had a lot of friends that came over from Seattle to go to school in Moscow. And there were some locals that went to that university, but it was mostly people from out of town that came there. And the thing, if Brian Koberger walked into that party house, everybody would have been looking at him. Who's that? Who knows him? How'd he get in here? Because
You think so?
sorority. Oh, I know so.
Because sororities know everybody is each
Well,
other.
they don't mingle because I'm telling you, that is a form of a cult type thing.
Yeah.
And they do make not so much the sororities, but the fraternities for sure. have these things where you die before you give up your secrets, and you know, I mean, I'm saying that
They
metaphorically,
live by
but
that code.
Right.
I'm thinking that, and they keep that going, and then when they're, and most of them end up in high positions because they
Right.
all interact buddy.
It's
Hire
it's a
him.
loyalty thing, I think. Yeah, they've
Exactly.
kept secrets. They've been loyal to us. Let's go ahead and
And I
give them
think the
a better
secret,
job. And
I think because of the times that the secrets have gotten darker, and
Oh,
and
I mean, it's
oh
like
yeah, for
it's
sure.
called the Skull and Bones. That's what it's like become.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like
Right.
the rituals and shit. And I'll tell you, when I learned that kid died in Paradise frickin' Creek, I lived right next to Paradise Creek. It was like your
Oh,
ankles. I mean, maybe there was some runoff at some point, but the highest I ever saw that thing
geez,
was your knees. And that somebody
that's crazy.
died in there.
Yeah.
No, I think the waterboarding ritual was what happened, and then they stuck him in the creek.
Yeah.
So when you went back there 2 years ago, was that before or after the murders?
Oh, before.
Before. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I was
So-
shocked when I
Mhm.
heard that happened in Moscow, and that's
Mhm.
why I went on to Google and was trying to get information.
Mhm.
And then somehow a YouTube thing came up, and I listened to a lot of stuff on YouTube anyway,
Mhm.
but I had never listened to true crime. And I am one of those people who used to watch 48 Hours and Nancy
Oh, me
Grace.
too. Oh, I loved it.
Oh my God.
Well, now we
Now
know.
Even though
Now we
I
know
hated
better.
Nancy's eyebrows.
Right.
I couldn't
and
stand
and
her
for someone
eyebrows.
who's and you know, from Sarge, learning the info that Sarge would give about you know, our rights, and
Mhm.
like that girl who got
Yes.
arrested for drunk driving, if she'd listened to Sarge, she would have known to zip your freaking lips and not say a word.
Yeah.
But
You
instead,
know, hey, my dad was a deputy or a corporal for 30 years, and I'm telling you, there's some stuff that I didn't even know, like that I really should just never talk to a police officer, because I wasn't raised that way. I was raised
me
that
too.
if you didn't do anything wrong, you talk, you know,
That's
you help
right.
them
That's
out.
right.
And then
That's right.
if you're innocent, they'll go to prove it. But no, that's not necessarily the case. I learned the hard way
Mhm.
by getting in trouble, not for something I did, but yeah, then I saw the real side of them, and I said, when I got out, I said, I can't believe you worked for Orange County Sheriff's Office. I just couldn't believe it.
So I will tell you that I too, and I'm sharing this from 50 years later. And not many people know this. I do tell it sort of as a humorous thing now, but remember I said I came across country with a couple people. We drove across country.
Mhm.
So I had an Irish setter, okay? And my parents were freaked that I was suddenly going to go to Idaho, and I just wanted to get away, okay? So go out west. So when I got to Idaho and we drove across the country in a Pinto, you probably don't even know what that is.
I do.
Yeah.
Wow.
I do.
I'm 45,
kids.
but I know.
Okay,
I've earned
3
6
college
shifts
kids.
on a Pinto.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. 3 college kids, a collie, and an Irish setter. Okay. And she had a little bit of car trouble when driving, so all my money was pretty much gone by the time I got to Moscow. And there was a store, like a grocery store, kind of like a Safeway. Maybe it was a larger store. And I'm like down to dollars. And I swear, you can believe me or not, I never before and never after did what I did. I tied my dog outside and went into with my $5 or whatever, $10 to see if I could buy something to eat. I'm walking by, and remember, 70s, no camera. No cameras anywhere, right?
Yeah.
And I looked to my left, and
Polaroid.
If you're rich.
Yeah, I kind of look down and I see a package. Are you ready for this? 59, and I remember it explicitly, a 59-cent package of bologna. Okay. Oh, like that's and I thought, I can get this for Brandy, my dog. And I pick it up and I look around, nothing out, and I slide it in my pocket. And then I buy something for myself.
Got
I
caught.
pay
Because of
for my
course that
thing.
looks.
I'm leaving the door, and a huge hand clamps down on my
Yeah.
shoulder from behind
Yeah.
and says, "Young lady, uh, can
Where do you think you're going?
can you kindly hand over the package of bologna that you
Oh no!
stole and come with
Aw.
me because you are under arrest
Oh no.
for shoplifting." Oh, the best
petty
is yet to come,
Oh,
though.
what?
The best
For
is yet
59
to
cent
come.
pack of
50,
bologna.
yeah, my gosh.
They
Oh.
take me to the Latah
Traumatic.
County Jail.
Oh my
Oh.
gosh.
Oh my god.
And
I don't have anything
the
better to
jail,
do.
the jail was like, that was a cowboy town. You know, it was a cowboy town. It
Yeah.
looked like an old-fashioned from a Western set jail. Okay. So somebody comes and gets my dog, and I'm in this jail, and I have to wait until the next morning, and I'm marched into court. So I get into, I've never been near a courtroom. The judge, who sits up higher than the rest, calls my name, and he said, and he's looking at his paper.
No
"Oh, I
contest.
see here that you are before me on a shoplifting charge.
Oh god.
Bologna.
59-cent bologna.
And then he looks
For my
at me
dog.
and he says, "I want you to know from this moment forward that anyone who comes before me on this charge spends time in the Latah County Jail. Now, knowing that, do you want an attorney?" Well, in Maine on an island, we used the word lawyer. And even though I was a college student, graduate, blah, blah, whatever, I didn't know what
You used to know, yeah.
Well, I don't exactly know what an attorney would do for me. And he glares down at me and says, "Well, obviously, in this case, not much."
Oh.
Because he'd already told me I was going to, he sentences people to jail. And I said, "Well, I guess I don't want an attorney." Bang goes the gravel. 14 days in the Latah County
Oh
Jail.
my
Wow.
Right
Oh.
behind me,
Pack
Where'd
of
you look
bologna.
for that? That's
right
nuts.
behind me, he calls some other girl, Alice B. Toklas. Okay, some of you will know what that means, and Tommy will. Alice B. Toklas, come forward. So this sorority girl on like heels, all made up. She walked past. The perfume was like, okay.
Oh, she was a hooker.
And she was a sorority girl. And she sits down, and he looks down, and he's like, $2.25 bottle of nail polish, shoplifting, county jail, 14 days. Okay. And the two of us are marched off into the cell area. Well, they didn't have any place for women. So they put the two of us in a solitary confinement cell.
Oh.
Door with a peephole that they slide the tray through. And it's really
You'd have to
skinny.
turn around
and
backwards.
Yeah, it's skinny and high ceilings. And the two cots were so close together that you had to turn sideways to go between them to sit on your cot. We both sit down, and it's anybody know what an army blanket is?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, scratchy green. Okay, so it's folded up on a shitty mattress. No sheet, just the.
I know what they're like.
And it was so gross. And so
if you're
finally,
lucky.
I have to lay down. So I lay down gingerly, and I'm right next to a cement wall, and it's got graffiti all over the walls. And I turn my head toward the wall, and it said, "Bob Brown," swear to God, I was concealed like it was yesterday. "Bob Brown was here in '68, and here's my booger to prove it." And there was a big smear. 14 days. So hey, I spent time right where Brian. Only his building is brand new. Yeah.
I was gonna ask if it's the same building.
I've been in 7 different counties.
Well, there you go. I mean,
Bad boy. You deserve the
happening
speaking.
it was so hot in there that we took our, basically just were in our underwear. And about day 3, we hear this muffled voice coming from above us, and the ceilings are high. We hear, hello, hello, and we can't really understand what the voice was. We sit up, we're looking around, up here, up here. We look up toward the ceiling, and they have pipes, and it was boiling in there. Okay, it had pipes, steam pipes running up, those little skinny ones, and there were like 2 or 3 of them running up the wall. And where the pipes entered the ceiling, there was a cutout hole around them, right? Eyeball up there looking down at us. So the guys were in a bunk area upstairs, right?
Oh my God.
So exactly. And so for the next 10 days or so, they somehow had a pencil and like string, and they would lower the pencil back with a piece of paper bent up and tied up, and we write notes back and forth. And that's how I spent
wow. That's pretty
time
cool.
in the Lake Charles County Jail.
Oh my goodness! You should have wrote a song about it.
So there's a funny story
Right.
for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet you put your clothes on real fast.
Oh no, it was way too hot. And I mean, obviously for 2 days they've been having a chuckle. Plus, hey, we were hot babes, so who cares, They were probably fat and drooling farmers who knew, but hey, it was funny, yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, it was
it's
a
funny.
funny story now.
When
When they said
you said that you were older than all of us. I don't know about that. I'm 63.
yeah, I'm
Are
way
you
older than you are.
What? You didn't
No,
look it
and
when I
no,
seen
and I'll tell you, nobody believes me. I love whipping out my driver's license because I'm like,
you.
yeah,
You look
I am.
You look a lot younger.
And I don't act it.
lot
I'm
younger.
immature, I guess. Whatever. So
Hey,
yeah, so those were
it's how you feel.
Moscow was a beautiful place to basically. I mean, I went out there knowing nobody, and it was, you could just do anything. I mean, you could walk at night. I mean, it was
a
such
nice
beauty.
place.
Northern
Yeah,
Idaho
it
is
seemed like it
stunningly
could have been.
beautiful, and I'm an outdoor
It looked
person,
it.
so within a short time, you were in like.
I got a new nickname for you, Happy.
I'm ready.
Happy Baloney. Happy Baloney.
And the whole thing to that was that you were trying to feed, you were going to feed your dogs with that, right?
Which also
And
now,
I wish that you could have said that to the judge. Not that it probably would have mattered, but if he was a dog person, maybe.
And I want to add to that. Later, I had a girlfriend there, and she was older, probably like 25, and she ended up dating the judge. And you know what she told me? They would smoke pot all the time.
You shit me not.
Isn't that funny? I was just like, oh my God, of course.
Oh man, what you could have done with that just to get him back, but you know, sometimes it's better just to walk away and count your blessings. Because you could have done more. So.
Well, ladies, we're over 2 hours here. Oh, sorry.
I should have let somebody else.
And I feel bad. You haven't barely gotten a chance to talk, Golf.
No, that's
your
okay.
channel.
I enjoy listening to your stories. Thank you for sharing them. I mean, Happy. I don't think anybody's gonna forget this one.
Right. Back to Baloney. Jail time.
After that story, are you sure you want to get her on panel, Tommy?
Yeah,
Lake County Jail.
Yeah, I mean,
14 days over 59 cents.
I love the stories.
Yeah,
the Lake County Jail. Now, knowing that, do you want an attorney? No.
Yes. See, that's the thing that I got caught up with when they would say, do you want an attorney? In my mind, I always thought, well, I don't have the money for an attorney. Well, how am I going to, I don't know the name or a number of an attorney. And so I didn't know that, oh no, the state will provide that for you.
You know your rights.
I didn't.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's what we need to focus on.
Yep.
I mean, that Sarge
teaching young children.
I
Exactly.
study what a lot of the stuff that Sarge shared on your channels, to learn more because I realize,
Yeah, we all do and need to touch up on it once in a while because I have learned it in the past, so a long time ago, but never felt I would ever need it because I live my life honestly,
Mhm.
and even when it came time to me getting in trouble, it was not my fault, but I still got in trouble because I was with the wrong people at the wrong time. But
right,
I just didn't. I forgot. And when
Mhm.
you have that anxiety and everything, um, what happened to me was I said something that made that they could hold against me basically that yeah I thought that he was doing what he was doing but I just was letting him do his own thing and I was minding my business but because I said I
you're
knew what he
talking
was
about
doing.
someone who was with
Yeah,
you,
but you're
not a bot.
guilty. You're
Yeah.
that'd be
Yeah,
like
I'm
that's like
guilty
what?
because I didn't tell the cashier like, hey, no, don't take that. That's not his money.
It's
Like I'm gonna
it's
say that
called.
to my.
Oh, you're really not. It's
Go
called
ahead.
guilty by association.
Yep.
Exactly. Well, I got charged with more than just that, but it was dropped because
Right.
it was my
Oh
first
my
offense.
gosh,
And
another
well,
jailbird,
not dropped, but huh? What'd you say?
another jailbird.
Yeah, oh yeah. I was in there for 2 weeks, and the second week they found grounds because I guess I had a seizure or something and was started to hallucinate, and they had me zipped down with no clothes. I did not have a
What?
blanket. I I'm just going to be TMI real quick, but
Where were you?
the
Where were you?
feminine in Orange County in Orlando.
Oh,
Yeah, Florida.
Oh.
Florida. Okay.
Yeah, and it happened to be that time of it started to be that feminine time, and they would not give me anything, and every day they
Wow.
would transport me off grounds to go to the methadone clinic. Remember, Tommy, I was going through addiction, and so I started the methadone clinic and all that. They would not provide me with underwear and proper things
What?
you need as a woman. Yeah. So I would pass men walking down to Sallyport, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, they're seeing probably this huge red spot on my butt, and I don't
Ugh.
even know. It was horrible. I was treated very inhumanely,
What year was
seriously.
this? What year was this?
This was back in 2019 because that's when I got sober,
No
right out from
way.
jail.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, I couldn't
Wow.
believe it. I was on the crazy floor. They put me
Mhm.
on the crazy floor. I don't know what you want to call it, but I was in
Wow.
a cell by myself. I did nothing wrong, and I kept telling them I'm not going to hurt anybody or myself. Like I've never even been in jail before, you guys.
Wow,
Please,
that's
why am
awful.
I
I'm
here?
sorry.
Yeah, it was bad, but anyway, I'll
Mhm.
stop that because I could
Mhm.
go on and on. But it was
Mhm.
traumatic. It did cause me PTSD for. It still
I didn't think
has
that
some
could
effect.
happen in this day and age. I thought you'd have to have a lawyer that would, I don't know, whatever.
Well,
I'm
I
glad you
did
didn't have
ended up
to.
getting a lawyer, yes, but I even told her, and I'm like, I don't even want to talk in this room because I feel like they're listening, and then they're going to take it out on me even
Mhm.
more further. But she's like, oh, I don't think that they can do that, and I'm like, well, I don't know. I wouldn't doubt it here
Well, they didn't
because of
know
what
that
I.
Emma could take something out of her butt crack and throw it in a trash can,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and not get in trouble. Yeah,
But I think you're all right. I think they should teach this in school, like
I
your
agree.
rights and
Yep.
all
And
that.
Yep.
and keep teaching it to a
Yeah,
refresher course at least. Yes.
yeah,
I'm sorry if
exactly.
I was yelling.
No,
Apologize,
Well,
no,
hey,
guys.
it's okay.
so just say, I know you probably want to get me. What do you do when you step out? I listen to you guys. I'll step off. Now, what if I was going to leave? What would I do?
Just
I
click
mean, in
on
case
leave
somebody else
studio
wants to
down
come up
below.
here.
Leave studio down below.
Okay.
Yeah,
Red
yeah,
X.
yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Wow. Thank
I
you.
I
Thank you for
appreciate you
having
ladies
me.
coming up and telling
Uh,
your stories,
Anytime,
Thank
Golden.
you.
and thank you so much for
Yeah.
being here, for everybody listening and
well, like I
chatting. And
said in a comment, or I don't know what I was doing. I'm so glad you're up here. I'm glad you got a channel going.
well, thank you
Yes.
so much. I thought it
Yeah.
was time,
Yes.
because
Bravo.
Yeah,
everybody is
it
like, "Well, you
was.
jump on chat." I jump on panels all the time because
Panels.
I truly
Yeah.
enjoy it. I enjoy talking with other people about these cases, and where
Mhm.
else can I do it? Well, that would be finding like-minded people to talk about cases, right?
Yeah.
So that's what
And
that's my
cool
purpose.
that you let me up here not knowing who I was or anything, you know. I
Well,
appreciate that.
And yes, and thank you
Well,
for
we're kind
vouching
of
for me,
worried
Tommy.
now.
I want to thank. I want to thank.
no, no.
As you
Absolutely not.
should
Don't let
be.
this deter
As you
anybody.
should.
No, no, no. No, no,
Yeah,
no.
but
Absolutely
I
not.
mean,
No.
certainly you've seen my name, Happy Hounds, you know.
Yes, I have.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
but
So,
of course,
I want to
yeah.
thank everybody
and
out there.
yes.
So
And
stay on your toes.
I'm going to head out, golf. I'm going to head out.
Thank you.
And
And Tommy, thank you
I want
so
to
much
thank
for
you.
joining me
Yep.
tonight and
Thank
everybody
you.
else. Well,
Thank you,
Thank you.
Tommy. I love
thank
you.
you.
Yep.
Yeah,
Love
You
you
have a
too,
good night.
Shelly.
Love you
and
guys.
Love you,
Love you,
Thank you.
Tommy.
Kathleen. Love you,
Sally,
Kathleen. Yep.
no,
Love you
Shelly,
too.
Shelly, and
Yep.
Kathleen.
Thank,
Yeah.
Yep.
yes, you
Thank you,
too.
Yeah.
And
everyone.
thank
We'll
you,
be
Golf.
Oh, more to you.
we'll be in touch, Happy. We'll be in touch. Thank you
Okay,
all.
great.
Thank you,
Love you.
Golf,
Night.
for
Yeah.
Yep.
having
Bye-bye,
all of us
Yeah.
up
everybody.
here.
Yep.
Yeah.
You had a great night. So
Have a
thank
good
you.
night.
You too.
Yes.
All right. God bless you all. And I want you all to stay safe, sleep sweet, stay safe, and nobody else can ever take your place. Remember
That's
that.
right.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Amen. Okay.
Amen.
I
Bye-bye,
love you
everybody.
guys.
Yeah.
Good night.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, everybody. That was a lovely, lovely stream. Oh, hi,
I
Shelley.
agree. It's just me. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you want? I'll get off. Sorry. You're
Thank you
trying to
so
talk to everybody else. No problem. I'm good.
Have a good night. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in to this little show tonight and had, all kinds of discussions, and this is good. This is happy for me at least, and I hope you all enjoyed it as well. And until I see you next time, have a good night. Bye-bye.